Hey guys, Jay-Sensei here again. This is going to go with Naruto was a weapons genius. This one, I'm going to be kind of fusing Naruto and look at some characters. Naruto and Gu, to be specific. Now, Gu in this one is called a weapons genius, but we only really see him mastering things such as, blades. In fact, between Gun and Gu, where Gu actually kind of saw true UI Gun for the first time, as is implied by the dialogue. You see Gu using rebar, but you also imply that Gu would use the edge to cause cuts, as Gu even used a watch at a slight angle and use that to slice apart an entire room into someone like Jin Chol, whose durability can scale up to about. Some characters really high durability point where characters can blow apart walls with punches or flicks. So characters like Jin Chol probably scale to maybe small building level in terms of durability. So I'd probably compare Gu's AP at full power from what we saw against Gun to maybe about large building, maybe. Large building, maybe about 2 large buildings at maximum, I'd give Gu. And that's just with a regular katana. Give Gu a weapon that he's with katana, he's in the zone. Give him I would say, let his imagination run wild with a katana that he would want, and see what that man can do. So yeah, let's see he's able to copy sword styles even off of TV shows. He uses he's copied his Thunderclap Flash. So yeah, but we're gonna move forward. Also, before we do that, actually, if you like the video, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications if you want to. Tell me what you liked in the comments, tell me what you disliked, tell me what questions you got, etc. Now, let's begin. This one, Naruto as a kid is relatively, normal, until one day Iruka introduces the different kinds of jutsu, such as Iai Jutsu, or, not Iai Jutsu. Well, it's because martial art. I meant Kenjutsu. Then Iruka introduces him to the art of using swords instead of taijutsu. That does actually intrigue Naruto a little bit. So Naruto actually went out after class and wanted to find a sword. Or at least a sword that sells swords. Now, there's comics in the Naruto universe, and in Boruto we've seen that. I assume comics have been around for a while at that point. So I'd assume that there's small comics right now, and Naruto in a store that has a few comics, daily comics from the newspaper, things like that. So Naruto would actually find the store and actually ask do you sell replica katanas? And immediately the store owner was if you want, you just get the hell out, you're scaring my clients. Naruto nodded rapidly, and then the guy just threw Naruto, a plastic katana, or just a makeshift one. It wasn't an actual sharp one, but it looked like one. Naruto took it and began trying to experiment with Kenjutsu. Now at this point, let's say Naruto's 6 or 7 years old. I'll go 7 years old. Now, Naruto trained the katana, and unbeknownst to him, he's a genius. He just thinks, oh, this is how fast people learn how to use blades. No, he is a genius. Back at the academy, he does wear it on his back, and also with kunai and shuriken. Well, they actually realized that Naruto quit missing when it came to the kunai and shuriken jutsu. When it came to kunai, just throwing it at a bullseye. He would throw it, and it was so precise the wood would just split in half. They would then resort to using paper and pinning it to trees at angles to the point where, it wouldn't split in half. Other students could have a turn. Then they just poof, back to normal. Also, the same thing with Senbone. And giving Naruto a blade, he didn't seem to actually fail at using it. It seemed to be the one thing he was great at. We were even here's him was invited one day to watch Naruto train, and with his still same, replica katana, one slice, he would cut down a tree. And Iruka would ask, hey, we're not get a katana. We're not saying, look how chipped the blade is. He was like, oh yeah, the katana shouldn't chip that easily with such a clean slice. Iruka just says, yeah, because it's fake. Kirsten's jaw just dropped and said, he's using a fake katana. Do you mean it's a stick that has good detail? Because he says, no, it's from the comic book store. Here's the job from the table to the actual carpet. Now, here's where I should take an interest in Naruto at this point. Pause. Here's the actual interest in Naruto at this point, is he actually views Naruto as, like, you know how Neji's called the once in a generation talent? Naruto has that title alongside Neji. Neji has the talent with Hyuga Jutsu. Naruto has the talent with swords, blades in general, actually. Point by the time Naruto's around 8 years old, but actually no, I'll go farther, 10. When Naruto's 10 years old, 3 years before the beginning of the story, Iruka's very, like, the point where he tells Hiruzen, like, we have to like, you know, like, we have to not let Naruto spar taijutsu. I don't know why. Another element is that, you know, certain weapon users are able to incorporate the weapon without their weapon, being like Xiao Lun, where he would incorporate his staff movements with his bare hands like he's holding one, or his guandao. Naruto's kind of doing that, where he would basically put his sword in the ground, and then when it came to a fight, he would just dodge and chop someone as hard as possibly can. Point where actually his nails, they weren't even like filed or anything. No, they're regular nails. He would just, you know, cut someone's shirt open with his nails. And actually leave a few, like Sasuke, like a few small cuts in his body from Naruto's nails or just being chopped so hard. I never really seen resistance to Naruto's hands is just Choji, that's because he's fat. Eventually at that point, Iruka says, the only thing that Naruto really shows up for is learning shit on paper. He was gonna laugh and just told Iruka, let him graduate, hand him over to me. This confused Iruka and he simply asks why, and here's when he just says, talent like this can't go left alone. If left unchecked, he'll think the world is all weak people his age. I'm gonna make sure he understands how truly dangerous the shinobi world is. So, after that day, Naruto would actually go to Hiruzen's office. And Hiruzen didn't really ever seem that busy unless it was like with the elders. So, when it came to being in the office, Hiruzen just left a clone, and at his own house, he actually would train Naruto. Now, in terms of skill, Hiruzen didn't surpass Naruto in terms of like weapons at all. Maybe he had experience, like, multi-shuriken jutsu, which he thought could, you know, bypass Naruto. Naruto would just cleanly spinning the replica katana, even breaking it somehow, would just be able to deflect all the shuriken into each other, and all of them go around Naruto, leaving a perfect shape in a tree behind him, in the shape of his body. Iruka actually kind of laughed at that. Hiruzen kind of laughed at that, and actually would continue to train Naruto as much and as effectively as possible for about 3 years. At this point, Naruto did learn proper taijutsu to not only use his hands as blades, but Naruto would also learn how to use Winjutsu from Asuma whenever, you know, Hiruzen was actually busy that day. Busy some days. Naruto would also but he got to know Konohamaru, all that. And being around Asuma and Hiruzen so much, he would also actually gain like decent intellect for battle IQs and things like that. He's like kind of almost as smart as Go is. Also, Naruto at this point, how smart he is. I can see him putting together, like, you know, hey, I'm the only other blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy in the village who has spiky blonde hair. Was the fourth Hokage. Is that my dad? Hiruzen can't really deny that, so Naruto knows who his parents are, because he's smart. After knowing a bit about his family, he would be given Minato Kushina's old house, and he lives there. As for his size, Naruto is an appropriate size for his age, not a little bit bigger. Let's say, like, by the time he's 13, Sasuke and Sakura are, like, in the 4-foot ranges. Like, I think Sakura is, like, 4'8", so is Naruto, and then Sasuke is, like, 5 foot, maybe 4'11". Naruto's about 5'2" at this point, so, yeah. So eventually with this, we do go on to, you know, when it comes to, like, you know, character creation, Naruto's brought in. He doesn't really dress like a shinobi. He has on a black shirt, or a jacket, and say, like, you know, I say it's Goo's jacket, because, you know, there's, like, fashionable clothes in Naruto, like, there's Naruto who wears suits, all that. I would say Naruto, the style is just dress like, you know, not casually, but dress, like, appropriately for the time period you're in. Like, for Naruto Shippuden, for, like, first, like, series of Naruto, they got out of a war, like, not even 10 years ago. So, they're kind of, like, not on edge, but they kind of dress to the point where it's, like, if something might kick off again soon, dress like you're, you know, like, also actually a farm, so I'd take on a house more just like, you know, dress appropriate for the situation. Gotch was a situation with just him hiring motherfuckers. He didn't need more than a suit. So, yeah. But Naruto, he just wears, like, let's say what we see Gu wearing, like the most recent chapter. He kind of wears that. And for shoes, he does wear, like, typical shinobi sandals. So he just sits in his chair, and he even wears headband. Okay, his jacket literally had hidden leaf symbols on it. Pause. Now, Naruto's hair isn't slicked back or anything, but it's definitely more just, I would say it's grown out, kind of like Minato's. Now, Iriko would kind of like, question Naruto where his headband is, and he just points to his jacket, saying, here's when he says, the old man said this was enough. Iriko kind of just shrugged, not really done anything like his orders, and he would assign teams. Now, Naruto says, Naruto, you're actually a graduate already. You've been on a few missions, which is, I've been on 80 C rank, 80 D rank, 20 C rank, and 3 B rank. It would not kind of applauding Naruto and just, alright, good job. So maybe you can guide your teammates. Naruto's teammates are Sasuke and Sakura. Maybe you can guide them. Naruto just nod, and then other teams are announced. Orochimaru, Toji, and Kyo walk by. He fist bumps both of them, or all three of them. And when it comes to Sasuke, she asks Naruto, how is it being actually a ninja? And Naruto simply just says, I need you to get stronger quickly, because if you don't, the D ranks are literally just us doing chores. Sasuke's like, that can't be the truth. And Naruto simply just says, it's the truth. It's purely chores. That's why I've done so many. Sasuke would just sigh, asking Naruto, what do we need to know? And he needed to just, tell him about chakra control and teach him how to do it. Naruto did struggle at first, because as before, he's a weapons genius, not just a combat genius. He had to learn everything else, how he did in canon. So he would teach Sasuke and Sakura how to control their chakra, and when Sasuke was struggling, he told Sasuke, how to control it. Or how he wanted to do it. So Sasuke would be able to do it at about, I would say, 30 minutes before Kakashi arrives. Sasuke finally gets it, which should be an hour and a half. When Kakashi arrived, he just see Naruto sitting against the wall, leaning on it, as Sasuke and Sakura were on the roof, actually kind of just sparring a little bit, and they're practicing how to keep their balance up there. And Naruto had his sword leaning against him. Kakashi would announce them, go to the roof. Sasuke and Sakura would drop down, and they start to walk. Only for both of their backs to be grabbed by Naruto, and he would just body flicker to the roof with Kakashi. They arrive. Kakashi is not surprised at all. He was told that Naruto is a student of Hiruzen and Asuma. But wait, pause. Alright, sorry. What was I going to say again? Oh yeah. So you would ask them their likes and dislikes. Now, with Naruto, he basically says his likes are training, food, and money. His dislikes, ignorance, arrogance, greediness. Now, you guys may think, that's because, he has moral standings. No, he just does not like things not being in his favor. That includes people being richer, people being more, not ignorant than he is, but people thinking they're better than him. So he doesn't like people being better than him, is basically that it is. He's striving to be the best. That's what he wants. It's not to be Hokage, he just wants people to stop looking down on him. So when it comes down to, what's your goal, he just says, be the strongest. Your dream, be the strongest. So he says, your goal should lead to your dream, and Naruto just says, he's the strongest for his age. Now he just needs to get older and keep beating everyone in his age range. Kakashi just sighed, calling Naruto kind of boring, because it's the same thing for Sasuke and Sakura. Then when he says, meet me here at this time, Naruto just sigh, saying he knows that he's probably going to be late again. Guys like him seem like they're always going to be late. When he said that out loud, Sakura kind of knew, so we can just eat breakfast. And Naruto just nodded, saying, sometimes food takes longer to digest. I'd recommend waking up early, eating, then going back to sleep, and then probably, just before it's time to go, or before he's supposed to arrive, go. They nod, and as Naruto's about to leave, Sasuke would actually ask him, do you have any more to teach us? And Naruto just said, not right now, you guys are too weak to learn anything more from me. But he does point to Sakura, jamming, tapping her chest with his katana, the sheath and all that, he just says. But I will say, you do have potential for genjutsu. Sakura asks him, when you say that, he simply just says, I just feel like you do. He pokes Sasuke in the forehead, he just say, you've been through suffering, I know, but not nearly enough. And he just walk away. I was surprised that, I haven't been through enough suffering. I haven't. And before you ask Naruto any questions or demand an explanation, Naruto just jumped off the roof and jumped from rooftop to rooftop all the way back to where he usually trains. Eventually, we do fast forward about the next day. And when Sasuke and Sakura arrived, it's about 10 minutes before Kakashi arrived. They had already eaten. First, they woke up. They kind of did what Naruto told them to do. Wake up a bit early, eat, go back to sleep. By the time they wake up, they're fine. They arrive. Naruto is already there in a tree, eating fish he had grilled up. And Kakashi had finally arrived. He realized, they're all going to be settling in. Finding somewhere comfortable to sit down, all that. But you can tell, they're all seemingly refreshed. They've eaten. They're all fine. So with that, Kakashi would say, "All right, on my mark, attack, or try to get these bells." Then Naruto would actually think in his head, saying, "Here's something like that with me and Konohamaru before. It was for fun, but we didn't pass. Konohamaru hurt himself before we could finish up." Naruto think for a second, kind of realize what this is about. So he's gonna see if Sakura and Sasuke can catch on. When Kakashi does say start, Naruto would take a stance and would do one single slash, using it with wind release, and the giant airwave of chakra would fly at Kakashi. Hardy had his book away. He already knew don't understand Naruto. Also, even told Kakashi, and after his journey, it would be cut in half by Naruto in one move. Naruto's moveset is that of a high-ranking ninja. I don't mean joining as in high rank. I mean someone who's as strong as you or me would have this technique. Kakashi would kind of just nod, understanding that Naruto is not to be played with, even if they're not taking each other seriously to begin with. With there, Kakashi would pretty easily kind of just do great breakthrough, blowing the middle of the attack away. But he kind of realized he'd actually blow it away. He bent it, so he came back and actually sliced his arm a little bit. Naruto's gonna laugh, saying, "Do you think that I don't know a jutsu to counter, things like that?" And Kakashi would say, You're a student of the third Hokage. I understand, I should take you more seriously. I should take you on as an equal. But not right now. Your teammate should get a chance to shine." Naruto just nods, saying, "Yeah, I agree. You create a shadow clone, until Sasuke and Sakura fight alongside the clone. He's gonna wait for his turn. He would sit down on a rock and just watch." Eventually, it does reveal that Kakashi is a transformation. But when the new Kakashi would come out, he would fire a fireball right at Sasuke and try to fire his own. But Naruto would immediately appear from Sasuke and cut apart both fireballs. Kakashi would be surprised. His fireballs were cut cleanly in half, and they're still going. They weren't just dispersed; they were traveling still. Also realized that Naruto also didn't hype him up nearly enough. He has his fun understanding of how his blade works and how chakra works. He didn't just cut the attack; he cut the chakra. So the attack wouldn't stop; it would just be split. So Kakashi decided, to pull out a Sharingan, now realizing that Naruto isn't going to assume it's like Kakashi. They'd definitely be hurt. Now Sasuke doesn't want to ask questions, but Naruto simply just told him, "You research Kakashi even a little bit, understand this has been his title for almost 10 years. This is Kakashi of the Sharingan Eye. Kakashi, the copy ninja. A man who knows 1,000 jutsu." So we kind of recoil a bit annoyed that he didn't even bother researching someone who's been knowing the Sharingan for over a decade. So now that they all jump into the fight, Sasuke having a mental nerve, Sakura having a bit of confidence, and Naruto not even taking Kakashi seriously, as he knows, even if he didn't take Kakashi seriously, he knows a few attacks that aren't even going to hit Kakashi full force. A small little sliver of it might be able to take out one of his eyes. So he doesn't take anyone seriously because he knows, small attacks, I will end up cutting you pretty badly regardless. I'll tell you what, but in the training test, Naruto and Kakashi haven't even really gone all out. Kakashi isn't using jutsu anymore. He's resorting to taijutsu and countering. And Naruto isn't using his blade to use a chakra anymore. He's just using regular cuts. But then it's noon, and Naruto's the only one with a bell. But Kakashi knows that Naruto's helping his teammates, even though they're not helping him. But eventually he does say, alright, Naruto's the only one who actually passed. And well, yeah, we know that he's only got a bell. No, he's the only one who's been helping you. And they froze, this whole thing about teamwork. He says, "Yeah, Sakura, you may help Sasuke, but he accomplished nothing because he wasn't helping Naruto. He's helping you too by, helping you dodge, helping you evade, giving you tips on how to attack me, and they've all worked. If you two would have truly teamed up, or if you three would have truly teamed up, I doubt you'd have gotten both bells, but maybe he would have. So when guys being tied up, Naruto would really, only sit down, Kakashi would vanish. Almost immediately, he would just use just 2 fingers, both of his fingers, cut them both loose, and tell them to eat your food as fast as you can. They nod, and begin scarfing on their food. They're not even hungry, they just want to eat fast, so they have, a bit of energy to, waste now. Kakashi would arrive, trying to, glare at them, but immediately there's a blade to his throat. Naruto would just simply say, alright, we pass, let them eat, they're tired. Kakashi would just laugh and simply just say, alright, got it. He just turns around walking away, waving to them. Next, Kakashi would go to the monument. He's met by Naruto. He'd be asking Naruto, do you have any questions? And Naruto would just say, no, he's here to look at his parents. Kakashi would say, oh yeah, I forgot, you know about them. And Naruto simply just says, I know about you, Obito, and Rin as well. And he would see, that Naruto kind of had not that he didn't disgrace parents' name, but he kind of just, he's researched a lot about them where he knows their handwriting at this point, and he kind of changed their names to the point where it looks like they wrote their own names for each other, where it's like, Minato's handwriting looks like he made Kushina's name on there, and Kushina's handwriting made it like she wrote Minato's name. Which Kakashi kind of laughed at, saying, that's cute. He likes it. He would tell Kakashi, he doesn't just tell Sasuke what he figures about his team. Off of first impressions, he simply just says, Sakura is desperate for someone's approval, mainly Sasuke's, but she's desperate for power to earn that approval. Convinced, he can tell Kakashi, make Sakura stronger and tell her that Sasuke would like it. For Sasuke, make him understand he's not the strongest. He will never be the strongest. Humbling and not humbling, I'd say, but a reality check and yet confidence boosting, that makes Sasuke powerful. Kakashi would nod, calling Naruto a good, people reader. And he says, no, he spies on them. And he would just walk away. Kakashi kind of laughs at that. We fast forward about a month and a half. Kakashi hasn't really benefited Naruto at all. He still trains with Hiruzen a lot. But anything all Naruto really does is help Sasuke and Sakura train. Sasuke at this point, he's awakened to Sharingan, to Tomoe in both eyes. And Sakura actually awakened Genjutsu. She has a small affinity for it, not small, actually a great affinity for it, like I said before. But also, Naruto's teaching her how sense chakra. But she learned it pretty quickly, to the point where she's almost as good as Naruto is, who's, if you want to lowball him, his overall is low Jonin. And that's giving him a low ball. His high ball is average Kage, but that's a very massive high ball for his age at this point. But, yeah. Now we keep moving, and move forward even more, onto, I'm going to say, probably the Land of Waves. At this point, Tasuno tries to roast him 7, Naruto simply just tells him, shut up. Tasuno asks why, and Naruto have Gu's signature angry face staring at Tasuno, he just says, the words of a drunk don't mean shit to anyone, especially a trained ninja who can kill him before he even blinks. Tasuno backs up, spilling his beer a little bit, only to realize he spilled all of it. You'd ask, well, he kind of thinks, how? Only see the bottom of his bottle is cut out, and Naruto just holds up a singular senbone. Naruto then smirks, saying, like I said, kill you before you can even blink. Tasuno nodded, saying he apologizes, and just bows respectfully, that sobering up pretty quickly. Next day, on the walk, Naruto was kind of just, talking to Tasuno, like yesterday didn't happen. Tasuno was actually kind of drunk, so he not fell for it. He just doesn't remember all of it. He just knows, one of them scared me. I don't know which one it was. There's the idiot. This one thinks about Naruto. There's the edgy one. This one thinks about Sasuke. This is the girl. Thinks about Sakura. And then there's the old guy. Thinks about Kakashi. But he assumes it might have been Naruto or Sasuke. The tone tends to kind of young from what he remembers. Or high pitched. But when they come across the puddle the first time, Naruto looked at his team, and they all just nodded in unison. As Naruto immediately turns around, and using his signature, cutting chakra technique, he would cut through the puddle. Letting brothers are forced out of it, both of them sporting a cut across their chest. Now, immediately as soon as one of them jumped out, Sasuke would clothesline one of them, and Sakura would Genjutsu the other one, holding him in place. She kind of just paralyzed his body, not even his head, just From the neck down, he's paralyzed. Oh, my bad. Pause. I heard that was my bad. I ended up knocking down a remote. So Sakura paralyzed one in place, and Kakashi just kind of walk over, being interrogating him. They don't really find out about much, but eventually they do still come across Zabuza. When the mist roll around, Naruto and Sakura and Sasuke all kind of say in unison, well, you miss first like genjutsu, where they all just say you release in tandem. That's where it's really, there's the mist. Naruto would mean kind of just freeze in place, and like he's here, but he kind of recognizes jutsu from books he read about, swords. That includes the Seven Swordsmen of the Mist. Actually, that's Naruto, or you should care for once, and he simply just says, kind of, the jutsu from the Hidden Mist. And the only mercenaries I know from the Hidden Mist, besides, well, those two aren't even notable, the only people I think could be, mercenaries from the Hidden Mist might be the seven ninja swordsmen. And there's only one of them who's alive right now. He's not in the mist. By the way, Kisame is not a recognized member of the Swordsmen in the Mist. He's not. He kind of just has he killed his master who was, and then took his sword and ran. So yeah. But with this, Kakashi can realize he's like, yeah, you're right. If I think about it, there's one of them in the bingo book. Zabuza Momochi. Naruto's kind of look a little bit nervous, saying, he's the one who has the executioner's blade, right? For Kakashi can answer, he hears someone yell, yeah, and the blade is thrown right at Naruto. Naruto immediately just unseats his blade a little bit, and redirecting the blade right back into a tree. Pause one time, sorry. So he redirected the blade into a tree, using what little bit of steel he showed from his blade. Also, surprisingly, he said, "Oh, you're not building that for fun. You're a competent swordsman." And he kind of just laughed. Now, when those ninja laid eyes on Zabuza, they're kind of terrified, to be honest. Now, well, Kakashi, Naruto wasn't even terrified. He was more anxious, saying, well, this is gonna be a good fight, but if I die, not if I die, but what would happen if I die? What would happen if he beats me? You don't think about, what if he loses, would people think lesser of him? If he dies, would he be a hero? Don't think about if people's opinion on him would change at all from how he already wants it to change. So Naruto's motivation to actually beat Zabuza and get, a better reputation is starting here and now. Moving through to Sakura, and she was into the area, kind of knowing that's Naruto's look, and she's able to point out Haku, someone in the bushes. She can't pinpoint him, but there's someone in the bushes. Immediately goes to Senbone are thrown right at them, and they're all pretty easily, just diced to pieces. Naruto would have Gu's signature angry look and completely to say, I thought I was going to have a good fight with the swordsman. You're ruining it. Come out here, you coward, as he yells at Haku. Haku would jump out, trying to slash at Naruto's face with a Senbone, but Naruto really grabbed Haku's hand and just headbutt Haku in the face as hard as possibly can. Since Haku's fighting back with their masks partially cracked. Now with this leads to a fight between Naruto and Haku, and then Kakashi and Zabuza. Eventually Zabuza does put Kakashi in a water prison, and Sasuke wants to find a way to get Sasuke out of it, or Kakashi out of it. I'm dumb. Naruto would be able to jump back to Sasuke's side, as Haku has a few small slashes, and Naruto has a few senbones sticking out of one of his arms. So that renders him only able to fight with one arm. But also with this, Naruto ends up looking over to Sasuke and telling him, do you have a demon and a shuriken? Sasuke would say, yeah, I do. Naruto ends up putting his sword away, and ends up grabbing it and, multiplying it. Using, just transformation jutsu on some few senbone. He goes, Sasuke, throw all of these as far as you can. Sasuke would nod, and he does as told, throwing all of them. Only for the transformations to transform once more into other, Narutos. Real Naruto actually snag Kakashi right out of the water prison, and throw Kakashi at Haku. Naruto himself would turn around, slashing at Zabuza, whose arm is, kind of in the air. Naruto landed a slash that ends up kind of going deep into Zabuza's armpit, raising his arm, then going deeper into the armpit. Zabuza would jump back on his arm, and he would realize, it's hard to move it now. It bleeds more if he does move it. He would smirk, only for Haku to jump to his side and to say, we should retreat. Zabuza would nod, and Naruto would tell Haku to take these back. As he would control him a little bit, flaring chakra out of it, and before squeezing his hand fully, chakra explodes out of his arm, and all Senbon are sent flying in, different directions. But Haku could quickly snag them before they're even too far away. He just agrees, and just, goes just way away from before body flickering out of there was Zabuza. Naruto actually be impressed that Naruto can do that, and Naruto was to say, he controlled the Nine-Tails chakra to a decent degree. Haku may have, that ninja may have pierced the chakra points, but they can still emit a lot of chakra, even if it's not his. Now with this, we move forward, and we get to, we get over to Land Waves. While they're there, Naruto will be out back training with the swords even more. But he'll also be using a clone, throwing Senbon at Naruto, as Naruto is a weapons master. That includes all weapons, mostly blades, but good things Senbon and Senbon are sharp. Is he able to counter the majority of Senbon, learning how Haku fights. Eventually one night Naruto's falling asleep, and when he wakes up he sees someone picking flowers. Naruto would stand up, and he knows already this is Haku. He can sense chakra pretty well. You sit beside Haku, asking them, where'd you learn to use Senbon? Haku not even like, alright, no good morning, how's your day? None of that. Alright, I'll answer your question. Experience. When you have to kill people to survive, you need to learn how to fight. The way I learned how to fight, by using Senbon. It was the only one of the masters I was deemed as useless to him, so he gave them to me. And I learned how to use them. Naruto will look to Haku, asking, teach me. Haku will be confused, saying, I'm pretty sure you can use them all pretty well. You seem to be well accustomed to blades. And Naruto simply says, I'm good at slicing, I'm not good at throwing. Well, he actually is, he's just not good at throwing them the way Haku does. Haku has pinpoint accuracy, Naruto has lethal accuracy. Naruto can't paralyze, he can throw them through your skull and you'd be dead, but he can't throw it into your chakra points, he doesn't know where they are. He does, he has to study for a little bit to find out. Haku kind of smirks, saying, alright then, pay me. And that fact that Naruto also does strength heroes a lot, he does have a little bit of the Hokage money. So he would just pull out a wallet, hand Haku a few bucks, and Haku simply says, you have me for an hour, I'll teach you what I can. Haku stand up and be teaching Naruto, what they know. After that time, Naruto kind of grew to view Haku not as a friend, but like an ally, kind of. When Haku leaves, Naruto simply to say, in the next battle, I'll make sure Zabuza don't die. You'll be my secret friend, as he kind of just smirks. Haku would nod, saying, I'll try to do the same. He'll be a valuable ally, if we need one. Now, as they both turn their backs to each other, they both just kind of vanish with body flicker. By the way, Naruto did the whole thing with the Nari, by the way. But Kakashi still kind of told Inari, Naruto is a genius, so he's still kind of earning people's respect. But on the bridge, when it comes to Haku's Zabuza being shown, Zabuza's arm is stitched up, but it's still kind of hard to move it. And when it comes to the fight, with Kakashi and Zabuza clashing, Naruto and Haku would clash, both kind of using, kind of just their bare hands. Like, Haku's a Senbon, but Naruto just clashed with Haku, but, blocking Haku's arm with his forearm. Or kind of form to form clashing. He would look at Kakashi, believes that Kakashi, don't kill him. He wants to have a good match with them. Kakashi would just nod, knowing if he were to get close to killing Zabuza, regardless, Naruto would intervene. He knows it. So, better than to, just listen to him. Better to just listen to him. So, Naruto and Haku begin fighting. And it's a pretty close fight, honestly. And when Haku does be incorporating ice release, Sasuke just running in and actually try to burn the ice. Until coming down to the demon ice mirrors. But the thing is, in here, Naruto can react pretty comfortably. When Haku throws something at him, he's able to catch them. But when Haku seems to, get going faster and faster to avoid Sasuke's Sharingan, Naruto pulls his katana and tells Sasuke, when I slash through one mirror, run as fast as you can, don't come back, just run. Sasuke would nod, and Naruto would do a series of slashes that are infused with tons of wind chakra. Once one mirror shattered, Sasuke would dive through it, with his body having a few cuts on it from Naruto's blades. He tried to avoid Sasuke, but there was just a lot of chakra flaring up in those slashes. He wasn't greatly injured, but there's going to leave a few small scars. Eventually, Haku tried to clash with Naruto, trying to use not a blade made of ice, but there's a lot of ice. There's a lot of blade jutsu. It's probably a blade made of ice, or an icicle. Naruto and Haku would clash with those blades, but Haku would realize Naruto's blade had gone mostly through the ice hole, except for like maybe a few centimeters of ice that weren't cut, maybe like 3. After the smirk were flaring, split the chakra blowing apart the entire ice blade, sending Haku flying into the side of the bridge or before almost falling over. Haku try to catch themselves, only to have their hair grabbed by Naruto to stop them from falling. Then they're raised in the air and slammed on the ground, face first, as hard as Naruto can. Hit a small crater where their head is, and they're knocked out. Naruto would look at Zabuza and Kakashi, and Zabuza finished it up. Kakashi finished his fight much earlier on because Zabuza was handicapped. He had Zabuza in a chokehold with one arm, and Zabuza was unconscious. And not like Kakashi, and poor Kakashi just just not his head at Zabuza, or not Zabuza, at Gato's incoming crowd of mercenaries. Naruto kind of just smirked for picking up one edge of Haku's ice blade, and then he told Kakashi. He likes trying to use new weapons. They're fun experience. He would have a crazy smirk, the kind that Gu had when he was using the hammer against against Basement Hulk. This is actually kind of concerned Kakashi a little bit. And then Naruto's just so cavalier about fighting so many ninja. Because remember, Naruto might be on his level, and Kakashi has faith he can take down that many ninja by himself. Well, Sasuke does just jump in to help Naruto for Sakura, they both felt useless. They jump in, taking down a few random guys, while Naruto actually cut down a few dozen of them using Haku's ice blade. When they're done, though, they would see Naruto, who has Gato, with a giant ice blade through his heart. And he kind of falls over, the blade impaled on the ground, kind of holding him suspended in the air. Naruto kind of laughs, saying, "That thing's weird to hold, it's slippery. But it isn't too bad, sharpness-wise." So Sasuke and Sakura are kind of surprised that Naruto pretty easily killed them people. Easily, mentally, that is. But they both kind of just nod, then Naruto would walk over to Haku, who's waking up. Zabuza woke up as well, and Naruto kind of jagged laid Zabuza's arm, using the sheath of the sword, and he told Zabuza, "Go now, you're going to get patched up, then me and you are going to fight. You seem fun." Zabuza tried to deny, only be hit in the nose with the butt of Naruto's blade, and knocked out. And just like Naruto said, he woke up in the Konoha hospital, under a lot of security, but same for Haku. Well, his security was Naruto, and then Sasuke and Sakura. But, yeah. About 2 weeks before the chunin exams, in those 2 weeks before the chunin exams, Naruto did fight Zabuza, and he did lose, but Zabuza's Kubikiri Bocha was cut to pieces by Naruto. And Zabuza actually had a few dozen slashes in his body that almost killed him. But his brute force had beaten Naruto. Now, when it comes to Konohamaru being taken by Conqueror, that is, when it comes to that scene, Konohamaru was actually able to break out of Conqueror's grip relatively easily. By the way, sorry for such a bad transition, I didn't think of a way to properly transition. But, Konohamaru was able to break out of Conqueror's grip, and Tamari was actually about to do a punch to Konohamaru for Conqueror. Well, when her punch went to land, she would see a blade appear in Konohamaru's face, and if she were to punch Konohamaru, her hand would be pretty badly cut, so she stopped her punch halfway through, and she demanded to know who Naruto is. And he just says he's the bodyguard of the third Hokage's grandson. Tomari Conqueror froze, and they're like, "Oh no, that's not good." He was, they're about to punch the third Hokage's grandson. But looks up at guard, telling him, "By the way, your bloodlust sucks. It's so detectable and useless." Gaara ends up manifesting, as a sand body in front of Naruto. And Gaara said, "Oh, what? Your bloodlust is better?" And before Gaara even knew what happened, he's punched in the face by Naruto, sent flying back. Gaara cut himself holding his nose, and he realized it was bleeding. It was badly broken. And Shaku's hands were about to manifest, and so Naruto would just flex his chakra up to about 3 levels of power. They made Gaara back up and suppress. Shaku suppressed himself. Because this is a dangerous fight, if he were to, fight. And Naruto just told Gaara, "Quit your crying and shut the hell up." Gaara is going to be being nervous, as his nose being healing slowly because of Toby's chakra. But it was still kind of scary. He told 3 of them, if they mess with Konohamaru again, he'll kill them all, mercilessly. And he'll have help. And before Tomari and Conqueror knew it, they both had kunais to their neck from Sasuke and Sakura. And then Naruto with a pointing blade at Gaara, and telling him, "If you try to use your Toby beast again, I'll cut your head off." He then kind of waves going on, telling run home. I'm gonna go eat lunch. As he just turned around walking away, Sasuke and Sakura would join Naruto. So with this, we move on, and we get to pause. And we get to probably just them walking into the exam hall for the first time, which is where Rock Lee would fight Sasuke. That's when Rock Lee would probably attack Sasuke, but Neji would attack Naruto. You guys are wondering why? Naruto's the one who's called a once in like him and Neji both share a title like a once in a generation genius. So Neji punches at Naruto. Only realized that Naruto blocked his elbow, while Sasuke was knocked right into a wall. Or Sasuke was knocked right into a wall. The Sharingan wasn't active. If it was, he could dodged at least or countered. I would say his body isn't up to par with Lee, but like his eyes are. His body's getting there, but not quite yet. Now, Neji looks at Naruto saying, "Alright, I guess this will prove you're a competent fighter." Before Neji, he was chopped he was chopped cleanly across the jaw before he could even react. Neji did back on his jaw as blood, leaked from his mouth, revealing that Naruto had knocked out 2 of his teeth. And Naruto would just say, "I guess this proves you're not. As you're not a competent fighter." Neji get annoyed and go in for a gentle strikes. But Naruto's pretty easily just slapping Neji's hands out of the way, or just straight up just dodging or tanking and then having the chakra go flare back up immediately after. Eventually, Neji started going for a strike against Naruto's heart out of just pure anger. Now, Guy was actually saving Naruto from Neji, only for Neji to be uppercutted right in the chin, full force, and be sent flying into the stands where Tenten was, or into the railing where Tenten was kneeling on to watch. Neji hit the railing, kind of falling over it as wasn't dented backwards. He rolled over, holding his mouth, as blood spilled out of it, a few teeth coming out with the blood. He would tell Neji, pretty sure they have a nurse here, and we have about an hour before the exam starts. Go see her. As you throw the teeth that Neji left on the ground at him. Guy ended up catching them, telling Naruto he went too far, but it was impressive. He would smile, calling Naruto, this is like the pinnacle of youth. Well, Sasuke had lost to Lee, but Lee had a few bruises on his face from Sasuke landing a few lucky blows. He wasn't really too badly hurt, but he didn't he wasn't even going to use the first gate. He was like, "Alright, you're a bit I could hide this you in base form." I kind of did, but yeah. So Lee and Sasuke get the bruises treated, while Naruto had found the exam hall, just waiting for them. Eventually, Sasuke would find it pretty easily going through, and then Neji was fixing up his mouth. Wasn't wired or anything, but his teeth were kind of forced back in and healed. Right. But now we move on and we get to the written test, which Naruto actually aces pretty easily. Not like Minato or Itachi record, but he's pretty close to Itachi's record. He turns in his paper. Here, Ibiki's impressed, but then long after, so do Sasuke and Sakura. They turn in their own papers as well. As Naruto basically, he had kind of broken off 2 of his fingernails, transforming those into his copies of his paper. So he's walked by, he pretty easily kind of flick the papers, or flick the nails at Sasuke and Sakura, and so they landed, they would transform into copies of what Naruto had written down. The Sakura was already acing it. They said the last question was kind of her only issue, but she wrote Naruto at the bottom kind of wrote saying, "You don't need to answer this, just gonna put the reason you taking this exam. I can tell this is bait." Sasuke kind of wrote an actual answer from what you could figure out, and then Sakura did the same thing, then they turned in their papers. That's the same thing for Kiba and Shoji, because he knew they were both failing. So, yeah. But, by the time I would say Akko burst in, by the time she burst in, she kind of realized that, the glass on the one side of the room didn't fly. And she see that Naruto had all the glass in one hand, throwing it back at the window, telling Akko that was dangerous. And he goes, I guess you're the 3rd prize genius, am I right? And he says, "Crazy title, but yeah, I guess that's me. Or Asuna, one of the two. We're both kind of smart." Back down on the ground, though, Akko would be playing the exam. Naruto's looking away, not even acknowledging her. He's going to throw a kunai at him. One hand, he literally catches it and drops it, and would go back to, doing whatever he was doing. Which doesn't annoy Akko, when she throws 2 more kunai at Naruto. But all we do is to stop on the ground, or stop the ground in a weird fashion, at a weird angle, flicking a rock in the air into one of the kunai, that redirects it into the other kunai. He then looks at Anko a little bit, telling her, "Try harder if you want to hit me. You have to try a lot harder. Ask the Hyuga." He doesn't that she had an ice pack on his mouth still. It was mostly melted, but it was an ice pack nonetheless. Actually, it does make Anko smirk a little bit, and she would eventually pass out the scrolls, throwing the scroll at Naruto, basically. Eventually, they get in, and, pause real quick. Okay, sorry about that. What else did we say? Oh, yeah. So, eventually they do get in the forest, and they go down to Naruto using the bathroom. Sasuke and Sakura aren't mad at Naruto because, they both know how he acts. He's kind of erratic, sporadic, eccentric. He's a unique kind of person. He's using the bathroom. He's attacked by the hidden sound, or hidden rain, I think actually. He's attacked by one of those three. And one of them, the one who would take his place canonically, who attacks him while he's using the bathroom. Instead, Naruto would come out, wiping blood off his sword. Sakura and Sasuke are kind of confused, saying, "Did someone attack him?" And he says, "Yeah, but now they're in half." Sasuke says, "Wait, really?" And Naruto could tap the top of Sasuke's head, saying, "From here to here." Nearly jabbing the point of the sword into Sasuke's no square, which kind of blocks, saying, "Alright, I get it. Naruto laughs a little bit before, going on about, their journey, till they're attacked by Orochimaru, and the other two ninja from the Hidden Rain, which Orochimaru says, "Hey, let's team up, even though I'm from the Hidden Grass. And, we can fight it out who gets the scroll after we kill them all." And they just nod. And the time he's charging at them, Naruto kind of looks at it, saying, "It's so obvious." Before deciding, that's a lot of chakra to cut through because it's a summoning, but you just weave hand seals. And Sasuke shock, he lets out a gigantic fireball, like a massive one. And immediately Sasuke would just notice that the snake is hit by it, but the fireball would explode. They realized that Naruto's pouch was open and one hand was in the pouch. Realizing Naruto threw an explosive tag in the pouch. The snake wasn't going to be phased by a fireball, it would be phased by a fireball that blew up. Orochimaru would jump in the air, landing, having one arm on fire, which he would pretty easily take off, revealing, his pale skin underneath, which has to reveal his more pale body. So he pretty easily drops the disguise early on. Other two ninja from the Hidden Rain tried to attack Sasuke and Sakura, but Sakura pretty easily subdued them, kind of just off-screen. They're not really that powerful. Sasuke's a Sharingan user with pretty decent skill, and Sakura's a pretty high-power Genjutsu user. Most of her body does have enhancements from Naruto teaching her how to control her chakra. So when it comes to Orochimaru, he does try to flex his bloodlust, but Naruto pretty easy break it with his own, combined with Kurama's. And he just tells Sasuke and Sakura, just run. He knows why this guy's here. Sasuke does try to say, who is he? And he just says, "This is a Sanin, one who has an obsession with Uchihas." He looks at Sasuke and just nod his head to the side until Sakura protect him. Both jump away with Sakura as behind Sasuke. There's a fight between Naruto and Orochimaru, and Naruto does lose. When Orochimaru does arrive to Sasuke and Sakura, he's missing an arm and a few dozen scratches across his body, and he had regurgitated once or twice by now. But Naruto had a few dozen kunai in his body. They weren't really too deep, because he's able to counter that, but they were just kunai in general. But eventually this does lead to the defeat of Team 7, and Sasuke is bitten. And Naruto wasn't even conscious, he was just literally too much too much pain to move. But she does heal by the time Team Dosu had arrived. But Sakura by then had beaten Keen, was able to actually beat Dosu with Rock Lee's help by helping him, and again, she kind of nullified all pain. Which Genjutsu like that would really be used so your enemy isn't aware of how badly injured they are. Make sure you kind of nullify every sense of feeling. Kind of nullify the sense of touch and pain. Originally kind of used so your enemy doesn't realize how badly injured they are. But for Lee, let him pretty easily beat Dosu, because even without hearing, he could see where Dosu is. And Sakura could also fight him as well. When Genjutsu is broken, though, Lee is in a lot of pain. By then, Zaku's all that's left, and he did try to use his, massive blast of sound wave. When he drew his hand, though, a kunai is shoved right in the slot of, or the hole where the sound came out. But the kunai shoved in it would basically block up the hole and blows apart, Zaku's entire arm. Or hand, then up to his arm. Kind of supposed to look like All For One's arm when he does the whole airwave attack. Instead of hitting someone, it kind of blew apart his entire arm. Izuku yelled in pain, Sasuke would arrive, attack Zaku. Pulling him in for a punch, Naruto just grabbed Sasuke's fist, twist it, and put him in a wrist lock. As I don't think Sasuke in his scaled beast form is anywhere near like full power Kakashi, which Naruto can fight on par. So, yeah. Or not, probably not on par at full power, but actually at full power, this Naruto can use some of Kurama's chakra, so probably he can. But yeah, this base Naruto can probably, not low diff, but like mid-high diff, full power Sasuke with the curse mark. Well, Sasuke and Naruto did fight, and Naruto's actually a bit angry right now, so that mid-high diff I spoke about would probably go to low mid-diff, because of just how angry he actually is. So he eventually would counter all Sasuke's attacks before putting him in, like a chokehold with one arm and being holding to his chest until Sasuke would just be choked out. And then Neji and Tenten would arrive looking for Lee, only to see that he had helped them. And they asked like what happened with Team 7, why Lee needed to help them, and they actually would see tons of rips on Naruto's jacket with that were obviously done by blades. And Neji would ask how many times Naruto was impaled, and he would just say 9, but they weren't deep. And he says, he's way more durable than someone like Neji is. He kind of just laughs as he lets Sasuke go, who is now unconscious. But he would just say, just wave for them, saying goodbye, and she would throw a scroll at Neji. The Sasuke are a bit confused, saying, hey, what do we need? We needed that one. But Naruto would simply say, he wasn't asleep when he was being dragged to them. He was awake as he would hold up Orochimaru's scroll. Their jaw drops, or everyone's jaw drops, or Team 7's jaw drops, and they would make their way to the tower as a group. When Kabuto arrived, Naruto would simply just say, I can smell your bullshit, move on. Kabuto would kind of smirk, saying, I knew it, so I'll see you later then, Uzumaki Naruto. And they make their way through the forest, until they get to the tower, and then eventually they would turn into their rooms, all that. But soon we get to fucking the preliminaries. Now everyone's actually here because everyone's here because when it came down to like Saku, he said I'm gonna fight with one arm. So yeah. So I would say during this fight, every fight's honestly like when it came to Sasuke, he's actually stronger. Even when he has to use Sharingan, he can't like go full power with the Sharingan. It doesn't really matter. He's still able to pretty easily beat someone like I think it was him versus Tsurugi. Sasuke pretty easily beat Tsurugi, but just Taijutsu alone, which isn't really too difficult for Sasuke. Like Sasuke and Sakura are both around high chunin, like mid to high chunin level. Roy and Tsurugi are about average chunin. So yeah. So Sasuke kind of mid-diff him in canon. I would say Sasuke is more about a low diff. And Sakura versus Ino. Ino is like average Genin, if not low Genin. Where her jutsu at its peak for her age, probably high Genin, low Chunin. Like I said before, Sasuke and Sakura are both mid Chunin to high Chunin. She can pretty easily beat up Ino. Even when it came down to only Taijutsu, Sakura would fold Ino. She's physically much stronger than Ino is at this point in time. So, yeah. So she beats Ino. Then we came down to Kiba. When Kiba tried to fight Naruto already told him, if I think you're too weak, I'm killing your dog. Kiba kind of just froze, was he has to impress Naruto in the fight, even if he's going to lose. Because if Naruto has a bad fight, he said he's going to kill Kiba. He's going to kill Akamaru. Which he won't, but he wants to scare Kiba. Kiba should be fighting more precise and calculated to hurt Naruto, to give a good fight. But eventually Naruto will grab Kiba by the face, from like mid-fang over fang, and begin squeezing, holding Kiba in place. With Akamaru, he tried to bark and bite at Naruto. But Naruto immediately played Akamaru, telling him, you will end up as dinner if you don't stay still. And eventually, after like a minute or two, Naruto let go of Kiba's face, and Kiba was just unconscious with a giant fist imprint on his head. Not fist, but hand imprint on his head. And so he just tells Kiba, I wasn't going to eat your dog. That was just to, maybe make you fight precise, but much on guard. That you weren't really going to be ready for me to just grab you mid-attack. So with this, we move on, and we get to, fight versus Lee and Lee. Not let's say Lee and Lee. Lee and Gaara. As the fight was going on, Naruto could have admired Lee's drive. But also kind of could tell that, Gaara was kind of unhinged now from what Naruto had done to him. Via, the scar on his nose, all that. But as we see, Lee, I'm gonna go the first time where Lee's arm was broken, arm and leg at the same time, but it was supposed to be broken by Gaara. When that's about to happen, suddenly Gaara would have Naruto in front of him, and Naruto's fist was about an inch from his face. Gaara kind of immediately froze, having a bit of PTSD, and he would drop Lee in the guy's arms. This guy jumped in, saying that Naruto had done so. And immediately everyone accused him of being why Naruto the fight, and he simply just said, the Nine Tails told me to. That's where everyone kind of reveals, Naruto is a Jinchuriki, but a controlled one, unlike Gaara. Or especially simply says out loud, Naruto has control over his tail beast chakra, and it's the strongest tail beast of them all. Gaara doesn't have control over his tail beast at all, and it's the weakest, which actually kind of a lie. People don't know that the tail beast power isn't by tail ranking. It's kind of just, It's kind of just wacky. I think the only say that the tail beasts that are the strongest are are Kurama and Gyuki. Those are the two confirmed strongest, aside from the 10 tails, but yeah. But once Naruto complained on the 9 tails, Hiruzen said, was it a sibling feud? And Naruto just nods, saying, yeah. Gaara back a little bit nervous, and would just hop in the stands, pronounced the winner, as Lee was taken in to get examined. As Lee didn't have his bones fully broken, but they were kind of just a little bit cracked, chipped, basically. So, I would say about 2 weeks of healing, he'd be fine. Spine, fine, all that, just arm and leg. But now we go into 1 month of training. Naruto would end up meeting Jiraiya still because he was at Hiruzen's house, and Hiruzen would just introduce Jiraiya. And he to tell Jiraiya to introduce Naruto to the Rasengan, as Hiruzen simply said, Naruto has control over 3 elements, those 3 being wind, water, fire. And Jiraiya kind of seems like kind of an interesting combination. And he just says, those 3 look the coolest on blades. And he said he's working on lightning next, but he's not the good at lightning. And Jiraiya would simply say, neither am I. This does lead to the training for 1 month, and Naruto would summon, pretty easy first try, summon Gamabunta. But Gamabunta has a little challenge of, stand by for 48 hours. When Gamabunta turned him too high, Naruto would punch him on the top of the head, telling him, slow down. Naruto actually holds his head, it hurts, so he needs to, kind of just listening to Naruto. So Naruto would beat him into submission over the span of 24 hours. By the time the 24 hours are up, Gamabunta's kind of holding his head, saying, alright, the kid's a dickhead, he's rude, but he won. And Naruto's going to ask, saying, are there any other, better weapons or toads? Because you kind of seem to rely on jutsu and blades evenly. I prefer hardcore weapon users. This is when Naruto is introduced to Gamaken, and he would become, he'd have a contract with Gamaken. But also, he kind of meets all the toads and has a contract with most of them, all the ones he can find, basically. One of them have a contract with her mom and pa and the elder. So he can do all that over a span of 3-4 days. Gamabunta was day 1 pretty easily, since he became Ken. Everyone else was just him having fun for a few days. But then for the Sengan, that happens with a span of a few days as well, as Naruto is a genius, plus he actually would train this said genius. He's pretty easily able to, learn to use the Rasengan. It was probably in the span of maybe a few hours he learns to use the base Rasengan. Probably a few hours, probably 2 or 3 maybe. So over the time he learns to use his Rasengan with one arm, obviously, actually, yeah. So 1 arm, but then also soon he will learn to use a wind release Rasengan. So with that wind release Rasengan, I would say he does actually not surpass Jiraiya, but Jiraiya would confirm, you're getting stronger, much quickly. As he's not Sannin level, but I would say, Sannin level, I would say he's very close to he surpassed Kakashi, definitely. No, not in base form, but he's still able more or less contend a Sannin for bare minimum. This time he wouldn't lose Orochimaru, but he definitely would not win. Pause real quick. Alright, sorry about that. I have like a metal folding chair to sit in right now, so it's kind of hard to do, just sit in that for like an hour. But sorry this is so long. I just have a lot to talk about for this video. But we move on once more, and we get to the end of the 1 month training. It's when Neji had trained overtime with Hiyashi, as Hiyashi heard about Naruto punching out Neji's teeth twice in the span of like 5 minutes. So, yeah. Going on to the final fight, Neji even had his seal removed because Hiyashi was like, alright, you're a valuable opponent, and I want you to use your full potential without you having any restraint on your body, mentally or physically. Going on with this fight, Neji isn't wearing his headband, and he opens the fight with his backstory. By the time it's over, he said, now, like, I have this seal removed and I'm fighting with my full potential. I don't have anything in my mind stopping me. But Naruto looks at Neji, is simply just saying, who the fuck cares? Put your fists up. This was a surprise Neji. Neji immediately started at Naruto, like going all out, trying to exceed 64 palms immediately. Naruto jumped back, looking at the defense, and even you hear Tenten saying, this is the ultimate defense, it's unstoppable. Naruto would form a Rasengan and simply just say, and look at Hiruzen saying, if you don't stop this, I'm going to blow apart his arm. And immediately Hiyashi, he's not here yet. Hiyashi, Hiruzen, a few other dozen ninja knew what this was. Well, Naruto got slammed into Neji's 64 palms, until Naruto was stopped by Hiyashi, who just grabbed Naruto's arm, begging him, don't hurt Neji. And he stopped demanding to know why Hiyashi stopped it, saying, he could block that. Hiyashi simply just said, that attack could blow apart a water tower. Can Neji stop that with one arm hitting that Rasengan? Neji's eyes would widen, and simply just says, he can't. He simply would just beg Naruto, telling him, I know this is restrictive, but I beg you, don't cripple him. Naruto was kind of smirking for laughing, saying he wasn't going to. He was honestly just trying to scare Neji. Fight resumes with, Naruto use Rasengan. When the fight starts, Neji tries to go in for a strike, only to have Naruto grab him by the wrist, flip him, and as Neji's mid-flip, he just uppercutted in the face, full force and flying into the walls of the arena. He falls from them, landing on, just on his arm, on his hands and knees. He tries to get back up, only to find Naruto standing over him with his blade in the ground. He looks at Neji kind of pitiful and simply just says, you don't really seem as strong as before. Did I really get that strong? And Neji tries to swing at him, only to Naruto grab him and punch him across the face. Simply just saying, last time I still beat you, but you're at least, threatening. Now it's kind of beating up a kid. As when punching Neji across the face, he's now kneeing him in the gut and slamming him on his back. At about 10 minutes, and Neji being wailed on, Naruto's holding him by the face, blood pooling from, how much he's been hit in the face. And Naruto looks at Genma, telling him, call the fight. Genma does so, and Neji's let go by Naruto, who's caught by Hiyashi. Hiyashi would carry Neji into the medical ward, and Naruto kind of just feel annoyed that Neji was just so weak. He kind of just says, did I really get that strong that fast? But then look at Naruto, simply asking him, can you teach me how to use a sword? He would say, how skilled are you already? But before they can finish, Sakura butted in, telling him, finish this up after. I can sense Sasuke couldn't come. As for on time, Sasuke would arrive. Not just time for his fight, but he arrives as they're about to announce the next fight. But when Sasuke arrived, this fight between Sasuke and Gaara is on now. There's only 2 fights. Or actually, there's 1 fight, and that's, 1.5 fights. It's Naruto and Neji, then Sasuke versus Gaara, which is interrupted by Gaara freaking out. So, once Gaara does try to escape, Sasuke would jump after him, this Sasuke being stronger than before. The Sasuke in this version had 2 to-one Sharingan from the start. The Sasuke in this one actually have 2 to-one Sharingan in one eye, 3 to 1 in the other eye. So he fights Gaara this time. He's able to land a few dozen blows on Gaara before Gaara goes, the one who pushes Gaara to fully transform is Sasuke before Sasuke's body begins bugging out with the curse mark. But by then, Naruto, Shikamaru, and Sakura had walked into the forest with Shino as well, by the way. When we came to the sixth ninja, Naruto leaves told Shikamaru to point them out. Shikamaru did so, and with one blade slashed, 5 trees were cut down, and as 5 trees fall, so do 6 corpses. Let's get going. They come across Tamari and Kankuro. Shino would take Kankuro, and Takuro is going to take Tamari. Which this fight actually ends not in a draw, but like, I would say Sakura took more of a beating, but Tamari had less endurance, and she was the one that had lost it. She couldn't take being hit so much, while Sakura could. Like, Sakura's covered in blood and bruises, but she's like, I'm the one standing, I'm the one who wins. Well, then Kankuro lost, same way he did in canon to Shino. Which was lead to Naruto and Shikamaru versus the One Tails. And so somebody asked Maru, how long can you hold it? And he says, probably about 5 seconds, if I'm lucky. But full of confidence, maybe about 2. And Naruto somebody look up at Gaara and Obito say, can you do 3? Shikamaru just says, I'll try. And Naruto look at him, kind of examine his chakra reserves, and just tell him how to do Shadow Clone Jutsu. He nods, and he creates 3 Shadow Clones. He's kind of tired from it, basically says he thinks he can do it. As he would create the Shadow Clones, and they begin holding the One Tails in place, and true to his word, in 3 seconds, Shikamaru let go of the One Tails because that's too much, and that was even just stretching for this video. But then Naruto jumped up, stretching Gaara right out of the One Tails. As he didn't fall, Naruto ended up slamming Gaara like through a few dozen trees, with him on the ground. Gaara's coughing up blood, barely alive. Tamari and Kankuro arrive, limping, trying to beg Naruto for Gaara's life. But as Naruto says no words, in Naruto and Gaara's mind, we actually see Kurama reaching through the cage, holding Shukaku by the throat, telling him that, this brat is not one to be trifled with, and you knew this. Like, you still poked the bear. Like, you poked the fox. This one, Kurama actually likes Naruto. It's like that Naruto is greedy for respect, not only power like Goo. He simply just likes being strong, and when someone is so weak but they act strong, it pisses off Naruto, but also pisses off Kurama. They're alike in personality. Talking about how they are truly. They're very similar like that. When Naruto would have respect, he'd act a lot like Kurama does in Boruto. So Kurama and Naruto are very similar personality, and they actually kind of bond through that. This one, Kurama's still in the cage, but it's a very easily able to push open cage. Not it won't open, but it'll be pushed out a little bit. Only stopping it is that one tag. So Kurama kind of just lectures Shukaku until Shukaku, if you actually make a pact with a human, you'll make him stronger than you are when you're free. And you also have a friend to talk to if you're nice enough. This Brad hardly talks to me certain days because he's so invested in training. Naruto and Kurama argue, and Shukaku actually see the relationship between Naruto and Kurama. I just want Shukaku can tell that, Naruto is stronger than him, and Gaara. Also knows that Kurama is stronger than he is, so he decides to begin respecting, Gaara. Or at least says he'll do it. Now, when Naruto let go of Gaara in the real world, in Naruto's mind, Kurama's actually telling him how to perform a sealing jutsu. Naruto's confused between doing the hand seals, and so, boar, pig, tiger. Kurama's like, no, pig, boar, tiger. Or, tiger, boar, pig. Naruto doing the hand seals properly after a minute, it means actually enhancing Gaara's seal. However, chakra is fully sealed away, but there's no chakra leak out that Gaara can actually, take advantage of for himself and actually sleep properly. As he does sleep, now Tamari does realize that Gaara's wounds are healing slowly because of Shukaku, who's actually letting himself heal Gaara. Naruto's turning around, letting Tamari and Kankuro. There's hidden ninja coming. The border to a whole other nation is that way. Go as fast as you can. But now being surprised, and Naruto would actually make a clone, and telling them, transform into that and run. They nod, and they go as fast as they can, individually turning into different Narutos, one of the Narutos holding a transformed Gaara into Sasuke or Sakura. Then she does make the Hidden Leaf Ninja ignore them, and eventually they to a whole other border, taking a long way to land a wind. And Hirisen still does die, by the way. At the funeral, when Konami's crying, Naruto's kind of just staring down at the ground, not really crying, but Konami can actually see that Naruto is holding back a ton of emotion. But everyone's shocked. Naruto hears holding 2 swords. He'd walk over something with having 1 sword, bring to Hirisen's grave. Or his memorial, which does actually make a lot of people mad. Until Asuma turned around, one guy even yelling at Naruto, went for Asuma to turn around and decked him across the face, telling him that Naruto is as much of Hirisen's son as Asuma is. This is a tribute to Hirisen. You see that Naruto stabbed his not original sword, his sword that she uses right now into Hiruzen's grave. The sword Hiruzen had given him because it's an actual sword. Naruto now only has his, sword replica that's all chipped up and hardly actually sharp anymore. He would walk away from the grave, telling Ozma he's going home. And he's going to Hiruzen's house. Naruto ends up walking in, and he looks around Hiruzen's house, kind of just admiring all the time he spent in here with Konohamaru, Asuma, Hiruzen. He goes into Hiruzen's study, and he finds a few pairs of glasses. One pair being a pair that Hiruzen had worn in his youth to not look old, even though he didn't need them to read. Naruto grabbed them, putting them on, and so they get Naruto having a bit more similarities to Go. Naruto even cuts his hair to look shorter, just so that he would fit Hiruzen's look. Literally get Naruto with this slick back hair, kind of like spikes. But I would say his hair kind of slick back, kind of like how Gojo's does in his headband, where it's a bit pushed back, but not like a full slick back. And if you sees him, they actually do think it fits his appearance. They kind of like it. Eventually, when Jiraiya would arrive, he actually does see Naruto's looking, and kind of sees that glasses are Hiruzen's from when Hiruzen had trained, the first Team 7. It does make Jiraiya laugh a little bit, telling Naruto it does fit. And he'd bring Naruto to go find Tsunade. Now, in Konoha, we still do see Kakashi and Guy fight Itachi and Kisame alongside Asuma and Kurenai. Here we actually would see a difference in Asuma's fight between Kisame and Itachi. Now, Asuma trained with Naruto a lot. Naruto is directly equal to Kakashi, kind of. But that means Naruto surpassed Asuma a long time ago. But also, Asuma is stronger than canon. Not by a lot, but still stronger. Meaning that his technique with his hand blades, much more lethal, much more... They're meant to bypass Naruto's wind strikes. As when I told you about how Kakashi had tried to, use a fireball jutsu or wind style jutsu to, spread apart Naruto's wind slash. Naruto developed a counter to it through Asuma. Asuma was one who countered it first. Naruto developed a counter to the counter. So Asuma's entire fighting at this point is basically the best offense combined with the best defense. Which others actually landed a few blows on Kisame that actually did break a few bones. I would say that when Kisame had been fighting Guy Kakashi, he was struggling to move fluidly because of so many broken bones. But this one, the fight is about to land a blow on Guy. Lucy Zabuza would arrive, fully, healed now. The slash from Naruto when he had hurt his armpit and could barely move, his arm properly, healed, fully. The little slash ones he got from Naruto prior, 2 weeks later, fully healed. Plus he's a bit stronger now. He would stop Kisame's strike, midway through with his bare hand, or slashing at Guy, or at Kakashi, at Kisame with a katana as he gave him one Kyukyu Bocha to land a mist for, safety. He would slash at Kisame, almost cutting off his arm, only for Itachi to save him. But Itachi pushed, Zabuza away. He's met by Senbone to the side. He had to run back, realizing that Zabuza and Haku had arrived. So those two began fighting with, Kakashi and Guy, Asuma and Kurenai against Itachi and Kisame. At this point, the one of them would definitely lose. As a duo, they'd win, but still one of them is going to fall. That one who fell is Kisame. Itachi just used Genjutsu to save himself, but he still had retreat. So when it came down to them fighting against Naruto, Kisame couldn't really fight properly. Because Kisame, broken bones and tired, and covered in cuts from, Haku and Zabuza. Sorry about the bad transition to another fight, by the way. I'm bad at transitions. But we go into Naruto versus Kisame and Zabuza, or Kisame and Haku. Kisame and Itachi. I'm going to so many names right now, I'm sorry. Kisame and Itachi versus, Naruto. So when they opened the door to Naruto opened the door to his room, he's met by Kisame and Itachi, and the fight would begin. Naruto would see him, though he just pulls out a knife, slashing at them as fast as he can. Really, the room kind of has a giant slash through it, and it does, make another cut on Kisame. Kisame jumped back holding his chest, trying to, stop the bleeding. Not stop bleeding, but kind of gauge how bad the cut is. But then Itachi sent flying back with his arm badly bleeding. And Itachi says, we can't get close to him, but we also can't be too far away. We have to be at a certain distance. Only jutsu I have that goes that far that can't be, avoided by him. It's probably Amaterasu. The leader says he doesn't have any jutsu that can't be cut by that kid at this point. He can tell. The fight kind of goes on with a lot of hit and run tactics. None of them land. But actually lead to like Jiraiya and Guy arriving at the same time, because there's not a lot of commotion. It's kind of just hey, stay that way. I'll stay this. You'll stay that far back. I'll stay this far back. Then commotion is just happening. Guy and Jiraiya arrive at the same time and fighting with Naruto against Kisame and Itachi, which lead to Kisame being defeated again and him running away with Itachi. Sasuke did get hit, but he was knocked out again. So yeah, that should make him awaken 3 in both eyes at this point. So yeah. But we soon get to, what was it? Fuck. Oh yeah, meeting Tsunade. Now when she's speaking to the Hokage, she went to the glasses saying, those were both heroes, and that old bastard died in vain. Well, she said that though, suddenly, her glass was broken, and she has a giant slash across her face. It's not deep, but it's big. Naruto holding a broken sake glass, telling her, "Shut the hell up. Your state is it disrespects the third's legacy." And he says out loud, "Only person who truly deserves the title of a student of the third Hokage, or title of Sannin, is Jiraiya. Orochimaru's a rogue ninja and a coward, a rogue ninja and a disgrace. You're a drunkard and a coward who can't even look at blood. You're not even a proper shinobi anymore." Naruto actually appears, starting Naruto with the collar, but Jiraiya actually tries to separate them both quickly, telling Tsunade, "If you grab him, you're going to lose your hand." And Jiraiya says, is that a threat? And he says, "What's me telling you? He will cut your hand off." He's confused until she realizes there's a katana directly poking her gut under the table. And Naruto says she doesn't lose her hand. She's gonna cut her in half. But also she knows that had an arrow drawn, from her little thing on her wrist. And she told Naruto, you'd have had a hole in your head. And he just says, you'd be too slow. And he looks at Tsunade, who tells her, "You want to step outside." She nods as they go outside, her face healing already. And when the fight begins, they end up clashing fists, or she thought they did, only to realize it was a transformation. Naruto then jumped over the log, grabbing her by the wrist, letting her stand on into her chest, sending her flying back. He held her chest, having her ribs shattered, kind of collapsing. Her lungs collapsing, that is. She enters under healing to realize, she can't really take Naruto's damage. Her skill may be better, but his AP is definitely higher than hers in her base state, and he took advantage of that immediately after realizing that. She could go stay in the 100 healings, but she'd used it briefly to heal for a second, just to make sure she didn't die. Now the fight went on for a while, but eventually she had beaten Naruto, in the fact that, she had every stat on him, but AP and battle IQ, which is surprising. But his battle IQ is higher than hers, so is AP. But even then, she was able to beat him. There's one thing I say Naruto's skill is so low. Only jutsu that he has that doesn't blend in with a sword is Fireball Jutsu and Rasengan. Those are the two he has that don't blend in with his sword. So all the jutsu complement his blade, and even then, that wouldn't really affect Tsunade that much with the 100 healings. She has better skill overall. But, yeah. Now we just move on to her becoming, Hokage, all that. Now, in Konoha, she would talk to Naruto, kind of understanding that, she kind of hears how Hiruzen treated Naruto and realized, only parental figure he had was Hiruzen, and he had died. She can understand that feeling bad for Naruto now. But as it goes on to, Sasuke still leaving, all that, before she leaves, she should tell Naruto, saying, "If the mission is a success in my opinion, I will personally order your blade from the Hidden Mist. I'm pretty sure I can pay them a decent amount." And just smirks, telling her that, he agrees. Now, for the Sasuke retrieval mission, she would tell Sakura, join him. And since when he's a chunin, he barely beat Neji. He beat the absolute shit out of Neji. Plus, he beat the One Tail, also with Shikamaru's help with a 3. He was even playing to tell Shikamaru, hold it for 3 seconds and I can beat it. And he did so. Yeah, so him and Shikamaru are kind of credited for beating the One Tails. But yeah, plus he's also credited controller of Kurama's chakra. So Naruto, if anything, like he should actually be a Jonin. So in this one he's a Jonin at this point. Shikamaru is a chunin, and with this, it goes on to them getting the team assembled. That's the same team as Canon, but Lee's able to fight. His bones are pretty easily healed by basic ninja. But then also he basically brings on everyone that he can. Only one who's not on the team right now is Sasuke. And Sai, but Sai's in the Yambu, so yeah. Sai deserves a spot on the Konoha 12 more than Sasuke. So much. But yeah, and then the entire team is here because Naruto sees how they're all valuable. Let's also bring Haku. Because Haku is a citizen of the Leaf at this point, so yeah. As I go on, eventually do come across the first one being Jirobo. And Jirobo tries to, say, like, oh, I have all of you in your tracks. But Naruto looks like Jirobo, so he says, I'll stay behind. So he says, I'll stay behind, but Naruto leader says, this idiot's too weak. Jirobo tries to use the whole, dome of, miraculous whatever, trap them and drain all their chakra. But before any weak point in it, the barrier is cut in half by Naruto. He simply tells everyone that nothing can hold him as long as it's cuttable. This one he's using his katana that's still plastic, and his cutting still long is why it's sharp, but it's beginning to crack. As it's beginning to crack, he doesn't notice it, but Sakura does. But immediately as soon as the dome is down, putting him to charge in, putting Jirobo in the chest, full force, and him flying back. But immediately after, we see Kiba use Fangor Fang, knocking Jirobo back even farther. But then from above, we actually see a double axe handle slamming down on Jirobo's head, knocking him into the ground, creating a gigantic crater where Jirobo's head is. Jirobo tries to get up, only to see it doesn't strikes hit Jirobo's back from Hinata and Neji, and we see Jirobo paralyzed in place where blood pulls out of his mouth, and he is But moving forward into the next fight, that being Kidomaru. This one, Hinata and Neji will say, we can handle him on our own. Get going, don't waste your time. Not as Kidomaru try to use an arrow, only times we just catch it and throw it to the side, and they keep moving. The next up would be Toyuya. It would be Toyuya who's next, but Haku simply just say, they can handle Jirobo, or not Jirobo, Toyuya. And Sakura simply says, me too. I can tell that this is Genjutsu, and as you told me before, I have a specialty in Genjutsu. So Haku and Sakura can handle Toyuya. But then we move on to the final one being Kimimaru. But with Kimimaru, we have Lee, who did pretty good while he was drunk. In fact, Lee even took medicine, oh yeah, this is just I have to do this one more week, which is where we realize we're kind of lucky that Lee needs to take medicine. So he took medicine almost immediately as the fight began. But then with him is also Shino. So sound 12: Naruto, Sakura, Sasuke, Neji, Tenten, Lee, Hinata, Kiba, Shikamaru, Choji. Fuck, who else? Ino, and trying to think. I think I said Hinata, but fuck it, who cares right now? Hold up. Basically, because everyone here. Sasuke is not part of this. Naruto is doing something else right now. He has to fight someone else. Only people who are fighting Kimimaru, Lee, Shino, Kiba. The first second on Ukon. Let Kiba handle them again. Never mind. So, Lee, Shino, Shikamaru, Tenten, and Ino. Those 5 are going to handle Kimimaru. Pause. Well, those 5 go to handle Kimimaru. Now we move on to find Sasuke. When it comes to Sasuke, we're going to hold that off for now. We're going to jump back to Kidomaru's fight. Now, Kidomaru, he's fighting Neji and Hinata. Hinata, who's now at full power, And Neji, who's stronger than ever, due to the fact that he has basically a conviction thing going on, kind of like in Linkism. Well, Hinata, they both kind of have it going on. Hinata, due to the fact that he was chosen by Naruto, and then Neji, the fact that he was, he's getting stronger and stronger, plus he's acknowledged as, like, finally he's brought into the main branch that he hated so much, but he kind of views it as, like, acceptance from someone he never knew he needed it from. This one, wherever Neji lacking a weak spot, Hinata was the one guarding it, and then Neji was the one guarding hers. Orochimaru had no way to defend against either of them, or attack them. But whatever weak point there was, other one had it guarded. There was this point where he tried to fire a giant arrow and was going to hit one of them. Instead, they both literally were able to dodge it and grab the arrow by both ends. Not both ends, like just the one long end, where they're spinning around and using their 6'4" palms, kind of, instead of, hitting as like a defense, they kind of just twirl around, gracefully, or flinging it back at Kidomaru, blowing through a tree, and blowing through his body, kind of eliminating his entire, kind of making a giant hole through his torso that was, able to fit able to fit someone through it. It was just that big of a hole through their chest, or through Kidomaru's chest. Then was Sekon Ukon, same thing, honestly. Kiba did pretty good in his own, actually. We killed it like Choji and killed everyone else, but they were dying. Kiba kind of was, but he didn't need as much treatment as the other two did. Also, yeah, Choji's helping Lee, if I didn't say that already. But, so Sekon Ukon, same fight as Kanon. We have, Kankuro still helping, by the way. Then Toyuya, it's Sakura and Hinata. Not Sakura and Hinata. Sakura and Haku. Sakura's able to pretty easily counter all the Jutsu on her own, and Haku can not see through it, but it's not that hard to counter it if you're Haku. They're both high-ranking ninja overall. By the time they're done, Toyuya's chakra points are kind of just impaled all the way through, to the point where she can't really exude chakra proper Genjutsu. But then Tamari arrives, she just bonked over the head with the fan, telling her, alright, you're obviously you're done for already, it's obvious. So Tamari kind of just did the finishing blow from behind, and that was it. Then when it came to Kimimaro, well, Lee's at full power, plus Drunken Fist. But then we would also have Shino, who's able to actually use bugs to drain the chakra from Kimimaro, or just stop its movement. Or we have Tenten, who's able to slash him, etc. Choji using brute strength, all that. Then Gaara arrives, Kimimaro is at full power, and barely moving properly. He's coughing up blood, all that. But I was going to do this, he just started to do a finishing blow. He's like, oh, I'll kill you all. As he tries to yell all, just a giant sand spike would appear in front of him, and he impales himself with the head on the sand spike. So he kind of just impale himself by accident, and then just dies via Gaara. Now everyone can see Gaara, and those who can kind of feel chakra can kind of just tell that Gaara's power is massively higher. That being his bond with Shukaku. So Kimimara's body just falls, but now we move on to Naruto vs. Sasuke. They're both on top of the stone heads, not stone heads, but on top of the statues between Hashirama and Madara. But the thing is, Naruto's just sitting down. He simply just tells Sasuke, this is stupid, come on before I kill you. This makes Sasuke laugh, saying, with his power, you can't kill me, I know it. He goes all out, trying to charge at Naruto, fly as fast as he can. But immediately, as soon as he flies at Naruto would leap off the stone head, creating a giant crater where he jumped off. And Sasuke begins plummeting. He's confused when he realized one of his wings, a piece of it was cut off. Not a piece of it, half of one of his wings was cut off. As he's plummeting, his altitude begins dropping. He crashes into the Hashirama stone head, falling into the water down below. When he looks up, though, he's impaled through the shoulder by Naruto. Almost immediately after, Sasuke sees Naruto, not just punched in the face, by a rather pale man, that being Orochimaru. Naruto's flying back, and he will land on his feet, on the water still, not even really too fazed by Orochimaru. Then Naruto kind of just inhale, before he would exude, the Nine Tails chakra. And he kind of says in his mind, saying, Kurama, I'm kind of pissed right now. What can you do for me? Kurama says, if you want something that won't hurt you, I'll do 5 tails. Which should burn off his skin, but Naruto can actually, take that and not be phased. Anything after 5 would actually hurt Naruto badly. With this, Naruto ends up putting his sword in his 5 tails chakra along with himself. And simply looks at Orochimaru and Sasuke, but also now Kabuto, and just say, I'm going to kill all of you. He fights them, And this one, they honestly only live that Orochimaru can like regurgitate himself and he lasts longer in the fight. Naruto's out of energy and Orochimaru would do the finishing punches, but even then, Naruto was still punching back. By the time the fight was over, Orochimaru was barely standing. He was wobbling. Like one foot was in the water, the other foot was holding himself up. He's able to get his bearings, pick up Orochimaru, pick up Kabuto and Sasuke, and walk away, but like limping horribly. And somebody just says, if he had the energy, he'd kill him right then and there, but he lost his weapons. They're all broken. And he doesn't have the strength to strangle someone. Kakashi had arrived, seeing that Naruto wasn't even unconscious. He was just exhausted. He couldn't move. He was out of chakra. With this, Kakashi would pick up Naruto. Before Naruto tells him, Don't be demeaning. Give me your shoulder. I'll lean on it. Then to back and Konoha at the gates. He sees the entire. Everyone's just fine. Well, except for Kiba, who's a giant, kunai in his stomach. But they all kind of say, how the fight going. He simply just said it wasn't just Sasuke. Orochimaru was there too. He almost won, but his chakra wasn't high enough. He kind of took limits so he didn't hurt himself. Recently, he said he had a technique he could have used to kill Sasuke if he needed to. He just couldn't. He kind of yelled saying, "Do we have friends now or something?" He's like a bit annoyed that he has some sympathy for Sasuke. Or empathy. Pause. Okay, my bad. Alright. So now we've gone about 2 years later. And Naruto is still left with Jiraiya. At this point, Naruto actually did something different. He brought Tenten with him. Doesn't really worry about Tenten, only because he said he'd teach her how to use a sword. He's going to. I would say for about a few months, him and Jiraiya would also kind of focus, but him and Tenten only focus on like taijutsu and ninjutsu, which is where Naruto would teach Tenten how to use a sword. Which doesn't really benefit her too much, but at this point, we're not benefit her, as she does a lot. Then benefit her ninjutsu a lot, benefit her skills greatly. After about 6 months, she does return to Konoha as one of Naruto's secret friends. Same for Haku and Zabuza. But it comes down to the remaining. Well, I think Naruto tried for 2.5 years. Tenten left at the 6 month mark. It's at the 6 month mark. For the remaining 2 years, Naruto focuses on Minato-based skills such as Sage Mode, Flying Raijin, all that. Then Naruto returning to Konoha, he learned Flying Raijin on Minato's scale, and his Sage Mode is completely mastered, to the point where he literally just takes a breather, I'll give me a minute of being by myself. The Sage Mode can last for almost an hour. Or just, if he wants to go instantaneously, he has about 10 minutes before it runs out. And then it can just refill his chakra. So, yeah. Now, when Tenten returned, she strengthened her team by a lot, just how much she was training with him. Like with Lee, he's training to the point where he's able to use all 8 gates. He just doesn't need to. He's as strong as Guy is. Same for Neji. He's as strong as Guy is. And that's mainly because of the fact that he learned to blow up people's chakra points. Not even just if they're overflowing. No, just one tap can just blow apart their chakra points. That would actually disable an arm. Even let's say there's 10 points in the arm, or 20. But if you able to turn chakra point at one, not so important, just one chakra point from the elbow up, the arm can't move anymore because they can't process chakra properly to move. I think there's Neji learning just being more lethal. So yeah. He also learned Twin Lion Fists on a much more effective scale. He not just invented it, he improved it. So yeah. So now we move on to when Naruto returns. Akatsuki retrieval mission. This one, Gaara is actually much stronger than before, to the point where he's mastered all of Shukaku's power. He doesn't have a KCM mode, but it's every ability Shukaku has, so does Gaara. He's a perfect tailed Jinchuriki. Tailed beast bombs and all. The point where he came controlling sand, and to protect the village from Deidara's bomb. He literally just turned into Shukaku, used sand to enhance his size, and hold the bomb and let it explode in his hands. Which Deidara thought would have hurt Gaara. No, Gaara's in the head. The hands have nothing to do with him. It has something to do with his mind, but it doesn't hurt him. When Deidara realized that his hand would fall, Gaara would jump up and actually kill Deidara. Only one thing she brought in a saucer. Saucer just poisoned him and he passed out. When it comes to retrieving Gaara, well, when it comes to it's only one S-rank ninja, Naruto just said he can handle it on his own, but Sakura says she's gonna go with Naruto to prove how strong she's gotten recently. But we get to Team 7 going, or what remains of it, going to retrieve Gaara. When you do get to the tags, Team Guy would still be the one to get there, and they're still open it. But the difference here when it comes to Neji versus himself, what he does, when the clone would strike at him, he just dodges, taps his clone's shoulder, and the shoulder is blown apart. Neji simply just says, "You may have my body, but you have my techniques." The clone just copy it, only for Neji to pretty easily counter it. And the clone is pretty easily beaten by Neji in the span of 5 hits, so maybe a minute maximum. With Guy, he basically means using new techniques that Tenten had taught him, that Naruto taught her, that Jiraiya helped Naruto improve upon. So all of them beat their clones relatively easily, even when it comes to Tenten and her clone. Her clone tries to use all the techniques she has, but the clone isn't anything like Naruto, which she's used to fighting. She's actually able to block a lot of the clone's strikes before cutting off its hand. When the clone's hand is cut off, Tenten basically kicked the clone's hand into its own face. That was still wielding a sword, so it kind of impaled itself through the head. So the clone's dead pretty easily. Same for Lee's clone, which he beat the same way Guy did, which basically just by using new techniques. That is nothing along the way Guy would fight mentally. But yeah, now it comes to Sasori. He's trying to extract, in fact it's only him by himself. He's trying to extract the One Tails still. So they're mid-extraction. Naruto would look at Gaara and kind of feel bad now. He still has more empathy than usual. When he says he would appear behind Sasori, yanking him right out of he punches through, yanking Sasori out of the circle puppet, stopping the extraction. Gaara hits the ground, his chakra coming back to him. He's not he's just knocked out because he's not tired, but he's poisoned. We see Sasori, Chia kind of begs Naruto, let me set my grandson straight, and then Sakura says, she's gonna help Gaara, then she'll join in if she needs to. So, as she was fighting, eventually Kakashi just escorts Gaara and everyone else who arrived to, their locations. Then Sakura begins helping Chia fight Sasori. When Chia wants to controlling Sakura simply just said, there's no need. Point where she's actually, reading chakra, point where she's pulling apart puppets that are using jutsu. She's able to actually see through chakra and separate it, which allows her to actually pretty easily beat the clones without really even hitting them. You really should just, push the puppet away, but then when she would push it, she would infuse chakra through it, separating it from the string, giving her control over it, and throwing it to the side. When it came down to actually fighting Sasori, well, it came down to his heart. Sakura really just punched Sasori apart without really even using much effort, and then Chia would grab his heart, and then whatever effort Pepper had left would say, give me my heart and I'll give you information. It does so, and then Sasori offs himself. So, yeah. Pause real quick. Alright, sorry. But we move forward once more, and we get to, what's the next arc even? I forgot. Fuck. Oh yeah, when they meet Sai. This one, Sai would actually approach Naruto, not trying to fight him. He would approach him saying, Lord Danzo would like to speak to you. Naruto would be sitting, just eating Ichiraku. But when Sai approaches him, Naruto would grab Sai by the face and just slam his head against the table, telling him, anyone who knows me with common sense would know not to approach me when I'm eating. Naruto Danzo, fuck off and approach me himself. He knows better. Levels his nose, not really too phased, just kind of pushing it back in place, and would walk off, saying, alright, I got it. As Naruto's walking home, he's approached by a distant Abu member who's simply to say, Danzo wants to speak to you. Naruto simply says, what did I tell? What did I tell the pale guy? I say, Danzo doesn't need to speak to trash like you. Pick up forward to 30 seconds later, and they're all cut to pieces, with Naruto holding the one who called him trash by the throat. Danzo walks out, saying, my, you killed a lot of my men. And simply just says, they'll die in one slash. They weren't really men, they were objects. Naruto would drop the one guy before, one slash, the man's head is off. And he's like, Danzo, what do you want? And Danzo actually asked Naruto, join the route. I would like Orochimaru to be taken off the face of the earth. He knows a lot about Konoha and it's dangerous. Naruto had taken sake from Ichiraku, so he steps in and just simply asked Danzo, does he know about Konoha, or does he know a lot about you? What's the difference? Danzo would ask, and well, I'm part of Konoha. He knows about Konoha. But after he pointed his blade at Danzo's arm, as we could say, I can sense chakra under there. Well, my guess, Sharingan. I know a lot about history, and I know you haven't really been a big fan of the Uchihas. Danzo revealed his arm, as we just said. If you can tell that, you can't be alive. Which led to a fight between Naruto and Danzo. Naruto would decide, and he fights Danzo. Well, Danzo sees the full extent of Naruto's new power without even transforming with Kurama. Naruto's first slash, he appeared behind Danzo, and Danzo's throat was slit pretty badly to the point where he's kind of spewing blood. That was down one life. Without really much effort, Naruto is cutting down Danzo. Eventually, Danzo appeared behind Naruto saying, what can you do about this? I can tell you're out of energy, or you're about to be. But Naruto just purposely spending energy to convince Danzo that Naruto is losing, that he's losing. Danzo appeared by Naruto to use all of his chakra, and trying to make Naruto use less of his chakra. Naruto just smirk, impale himself through the chest, and the blade would go straight through Danzo's chest as well. Danzo spit up blood, as the blade went right to his heart, while it missed Naruto's. Naruto spit up his own blood before ripping the blade out of his chest, and Kurama began killing him. Calling Naruto a fool for using that, but it was kind of cool. Naruto hit the ground, and Naruto kind of smiled, saying, I'll have the honor of taking over your route. I'll make sure those so-called men don't go to waste. Naruto walks to the Anbu base with Danzo's head in his hand. When he arrives in, when he walks in, Fino should look at him and hold Danzo's head, and this will be just said, anyone who has a problem with me killing him, come at me right now. We fast forward an hour later, with Naruto on the roof, holding Sai, by the neck, holding him over the roof. Inside, every single member of Root is slaughtered. A few of them having burn marks from Naruto, using Fireball Jutsu or using Tail Beast Chakra. Yeah, Sai, do you want to live, or would you prefer dying as Danzo's object? Sai will think about it for a second what we're saying. Living isn't so bad. He put Sai down next to him, he told him, you're on my team now. You're replacing Sasuke. Next day, he was the bridge mission, and Naruto introduced Sai as his friend. While in the news, a lot of talk is about, Danzo's death, not really the Root Ninja. But anyone who talked to Naruto about the death, he would just give him a look, and they could tell he's probably the one who did it with how happy he looks. But, the bridge mission. Here we have Yamato impersonating Sasori, but Kakashi's here too, because Kakashi didn't really fight anyone, he kind of just brought people back to Konoha. But when when Sasori is revealed to be Yamato, we end up seeing Yamato try to fight Yamato. But Naruto ends up appearing, and with Yamato across the face, telling him, you owe me for 2 years ago. You owe me a fair fight. We see Orochimaru jump in and punch Naruto in the face, but his punch is stopped by Kakashi, who simply just says, you owe me as well. As Orochimaru is thrown off the bridge by Kakashi, who flexes some chakra that Orochimaru definitely is that was not from 2 years ago, you're much stronger than before now. Then Orochimaru is met by Yamato, Sai, and Sakura. This isn't going to be a fair fight. Kakashi says, you couldn't caught me off guard, because you didn't even try to actually challenge me, you just scared me. So now I'll scare you. This leads to a fight between Orochimaru and the Four, and Yamato's wood at least holding him in place actually allowed for Kakashi to actually land a good Chidori that almost kills Orochimaru, if not for him escaping, using regurgitation and then slithering away. Kabuto, he did sever some tendons in Naruto's arm, and actually made Naruto drop his blade, and Kabuto would kick it, far, far away. At this point, by the way, Naruto does have the sword Tsunade promised him. But he had it enhanced by the toads, and this blade is full of nature energy. Does it turn into a stone? No, all it really does is the fact that, it can use nature energy to repair itself. It doesn't get chipped, doesn't crack, all that. It's perfectly fine. It's a perfect blade, basically. But so Kabuto escapes with, Orochimaru's help, but also Kabuto severed some tendons in Naruto's arm, so it was hard to hold things. So it is his sword, which Kabuto kicked away. He healed immediately after Kabuto was out of sight, but he's planning on following Kabuto regardless. When Jimmy Yamato saying, how about we all investigate the base? Naruto simply just said, bullshit, jumped in the air, created an Odama Rasengan, and blew apart the entirety of the base. You see down the rubble, Sasuke holding a giant piece of his stone almost fell on him, kicking it to the side. Well, Orochimaru and Kabuto barely survived from how injured they are from the prior fights. Naruto would just stare down at Sasuke, Kabuto, and Orochimaru. He just tell them all, come at me or it'll kill them. Sasuke tried to Chidori at Naruto. Naruto really just just grabbed Sasuke's forearm as almost hit him, as almost hit Naruto in the face. He puts them to the spot where just kind of bending and breaking Sasuke's forearm badly. Sasuke fell back, holding his arm, before getting punched in the gut full force and sent flying into Sakura. We were caught in, but he tried to get out of her grip, only for her to grab him by the neck and just start cutting down from 30. And her grip so tight that Sasuke couldn't even pull back. It was just, she's strangling him. Then we went through Orochimaru and Kabuto. Yamato jumped in, so did Sai. And as a trio, they pretty easily beat down Kabuto and, Orochimaru. So yeah, they're all detained. And when they go to Sakura, she's just holding Sasuke on one arm as he's unconscious. Pause real quick. Alright, sorry about that. Moving forward, on to, fuck. Fuck, what was it? Oh yeah, I think the mission is the Asuma versus Hidan thing, all that. But here as you see, Naruto's reappearance had actually had an improvement on all of, people who were his friend and who he trained with. One of which being Asuma, whose jutsu much stronger than before, point where his entire arsenal not only Winjutsu, but meant to enhance his blades. While Shikamaru as well, who would be into master Sharingan Jutsu and the secrets of the Sharingan Jutsu, is actually able to, hold things in place much longer. Point where he's able to kind of, mentally, and Shadow would be like, oh yeah, I'm one man, my shadow has the power of 30. I'm one man, my shadow has the power of 30 of me, 30 men. So as we get moving, for these fights, when it came down to Kakuzu, Shikamaru pretty easily held him in place. Kakuzu could not escape from Shikamaru. Point where it came down to Itachi Kotetsu versus, Kakuzu, they destroyed a majority of his hearts except for the one in his chest, which they didn't realize he had. They only saw the 4. But then he broke out, beat all 3 of them, but he was barely alive. His body was, aching. Shikamaru was able to fight him off, and by then, he didn't have time to create a circle, so Kakuzu's leader said, if you lose, I can't help you. I'm badly injured. He didn't realize, alright, this guy's getting close to cutting my head off. Kakuzu said he can't help me. Retreat is the only option right now, and that annoys me. He's kind of mad, but they end up retreating. So, yeah. This Asuma was still, burned and all that, but other than that, he was fine. Now it comes down to, the final fight, the one that Shikamaru would canonically use for revenge. Doesn't happen. It's literally just Asuma coming back for round 2. But he has Kakashi with him. It's literally only these 2 versus Hidan and Kakuzu. Now, Team 10 did want to come, but Asuma said this is adult business between adults. Well, it's just adult business, 2 men, that. Shikamaru said he doesn't want the fight, he wants to watch. He wants to see Asuma come back, with a strategy. Asuma said he agrees to that, so, yeah. Pause one more time. Alright. So, we end up seeing Shikamaru, and, Team 10 was watching the fight between Asuma and Hidan. This fight, Asuma's reading Hidan like a book. Hidan can't really hit Asuma. He's able to dodge, reflect, all that. But eventually he's able to cut off Hidan's head, and Kakuzu tried to go help him to, regrow it. But we end up seeing Kakashi use Kamui for the first time. And that first time, he teleported a portion of Kakuzu's body away. But the thing is, he teleported Kakuzu's body to the point where he cut his heart in half. His main heart, along with another heart. Being Hidan, or Kakuzu, dead under 3 hearts. But his body was at a weird proportion to the point where he can't even move properly anymore. So at this point, he's kind of begging for mercy, only for Kakashi to just brutally kill him without mercy, even though he asked for it. So Kakuzu's dead, Hidan is left, headless. And Asuma's believed says, you talk too much. Before we end up seeing Asuma dismember all of Hidan's body to the point where he is just in sections. With this, we end up having Asuma burying Hidan, and we see him do it, a very deep grave, all spread apart, and yeah. And then move on, and in this one, Sasuke is in prison, his eyes sealed, all that. And Naruto doesn't hit the root, but he does use Danzo's Anbu base as, a training ground or a training area. And here, as you see Itachi appear with Kisame, and then she asks Naruto to get Sasuke out of prison. He asks why, and Itachi simply says he tells Naruto everything, how he's dying, all that. He leaves out the part he was a spy, though. But unlike for Itachi, Naruto having access to the building, he knows all of the records. He's able to say, with how you killing the clan was an order, I'm assuming you're a spy. He's made a little for Itachi, and Itachi would confirm it, which doesn't know Kisame, but he actually does love Itachi, so he would not attack him. He just says, if you live through this fight, I need to talk to you. Naruto kind of just calls that cue before walking into the prison, and taking out all the guards with just one single hand shot before they even realize it. And we just tell Itachi, you both fight, in my destination of my choosing. My choosing, the Uchiha compound. If the village wants to stop you, I'll stop them with Kisame. Now, in the Uchiha compound, we end up seeing Itachi and Sasuke getting ready for a fight, and as it begins, first one to get there is Sakura. And he simply just tells Sakura, like Naruto would tell her, what's going on. He agrees to just sit on the sidelines and help Naruto in case stop anyone who tries to intervene. If you do try, only be laid out on the ground. But they end up seeing Sasuke eventually beat Itachi. And this Sasuke is much stronger, but if anything, it looks like this fight would have been a draw if they're both at full power, but Itachi's, sickness killed him in the end. It would have been a draw instead, though. So if Itachi wasn't sick, it would have been a draw. Because he is, though, he dies. Now, when Naruto arrived, we go to try to, try to take Sasuke. But Naruto ends up arriving, and stopping Obito from doing anything. It makes Obito have to retreat, and Naruto taking Sasuke. Taking up to the infirmary, all that. Now, no one would vouch for this being an organized fight, so with this, it's kind of the Sasuke fought Itachi, and then he's the one who killed him, so he's actually counted as a hero, and this gives him the authority to, be released. Somebody can kind of tell that Naruto probably organized it. This has his handiwork all over it, but she kind of ignores it. With this, Sasuke is he's pardoned, all that. It's his MS though, and Kakashi can teach him how to use his MS. So for the Rasengan training that Naruto does, that's Sasuke's MS training. Well, I'm just overseeing it and let Sasuke's just back. By the way, Jiraiya does die. Naruto isn't as emotional, but he is still kind of sad. So with this one, it comes down to Sasuke training. Naruto's helping him improve by also enhancing, his ability to dodge, counter, all that with the Sharingan. But since Sasuke's done training, Sasuke would look at Naruto, and they don't say anything, only for Naruto to hold out his hand in the form of the unison sign. And he would look at Sasuke saying, "We good?" Sasuke holds his hand out, completing the unison sign, and he says, "We're good." Immediately in their heads, they're both sent into the realm of Hagoromo. And there's where Naruto would actually meet Minato and Hagoromo. As Hagoromo had forcibly opened the seal, so which is where Naruto had met, Minato, but then also Kushina was forced out as well, and she would join them. The three of them actually talk to Naruto and each other. And with this, this leads to Naruto learning to accept Hagoromo's powers. But he simply tells Hagoromo, if Sasuke has anything evil, he will put him down. And Hagoromo kind of smiled, saying, "This is what Ashrin needed to be. Not his brother's rival or enemy, someone to put him in check when he was wrong. You embodied that." Hagoromo actually smiled, not giving Sasuke any take past chakra, but giving him, his eyes, saying, "Only thing he will receive from me is my eyes. You will receive everything else about me. My mind, my knowledge, my wisdom, my body, my power. You'll receive everything but my Rinnegan." And Naruto just says, "Fancy eyes ruin a good fight. I wouldn't want them regardless. I gouge them out of my face and learn how to fight blind." This makes Hagoromo kind of laugh a little bit, and he says, "All right, I get that." Also, Hishi would, restore Kurama to his full capability, where she does tear Kurama out of Minato. But Minato would ascend to the Pure Lands with Hagoromo and Kushina and him both ascend to the Pure Lands with Hagoromo's assistance. This one, if Minato were to be brought back, he couldn't be brought back. It's not possible now. They separate, Naruto kind of laugh, and Sasuke does say, "Oh, you met him too?" And he says, "Yeah, I'm the one who convinced him to not make you any stronger. He gave me the power he withheld." This makes Sasuke a bit mad, and Naruto simply just said, Because I told him I'm keeping you in check, not that I'm your rival or your friend. I'm the one making sure you're not my enemy ever again, or the village's enemy. And he simply told Sasuke, the reason you have those 2 eyes and those 2 new eyes, because I took the body you've had with them. Which annoys Sasuke a little bit, but not using creation of all things, he does have power most abilities. We'll give Sasuke a tiny bit more chakra than usual, just to control the powers. So now, we move on to the Pain Assault. At this point, Naruto had given out a lot more chakra than he needed to, but he'd given out a lot of power to people. One of which being Kakashi, who now has 2 MS, but he's able to turn them on and off. Now in the Pain Assault, we see Pain and the Almighty Push. He's met by Flying Tsunade, who would just grab him, and the Almighty Push just blows apart Pain's arms because Kakashi's holding him. So the Yahiko path would just fall, Kakashi would catch him, and this leads to Konan trying to fly in and save, the Yahiko body. But she's met by Naruto and Kakashi's hand, and Naruto would stop her, telling her he can tell they're vessels. It's not that hard to sense that. Bring him to the real body, and he'll spare his life. As she looks around at the other 5 paths, which are now done to 1 almost immediately. Sakura killed the one who was summoned. Sasuke killed the one who can rip out souls. Orochimaru just held him in the shadow and strangled it. The final one is literally just being confronted by Konohamaru with a Rasengan and a katana with Asuma. So with this will lead Konan submitting immediately, bringing Naruto to Nagato. And Naruto points out how Sasuke has 2 Rinnegan as well. This leads to Nagato kind of laughing and saying, well, in that case, the world does not need mine. Destroy them. This one, he didn't even kill anyone. No one is dead. They're fine. The attack stopped as soon as it started. So no one knows it. May have a few injuries, and that's bare minimum it. So with this does lead to Nagato saying, no one died, which does suck on my end, but I'm not surprised. Anything he says, if Sasuke exists, there's 2 Rinnegan in the world, my eyes don't need to exist. Destroy them. Naruto what to do is told, shoving 2 fingers in Nagato's eyes, but using a chakra point where he kind of blew apart Nagato's, the inside of his skull with just a chakra implosion as he jabbed out his eyes. And blew his fingers, all Konan saw was just blood pouring from Nagato's eyes, nose, ears, and mouth. But she knew he died quickly, almost immediately actually. The moment the Naruto's fingers began to even touch his body, he died. This going on would end up burying or sealing away, hiding his body. So, yeah. Now when it comes down to, Obito in the land of, Hidden Rain, they don't have, looking for Nagato. She simply says, he's dead. He's like, alright, where's his eye? She says, he had me destroy them. Obito's eyes just widen, he had you destroy the Rinnegan. She's like, yes, if you don't believe me, I'll show you. And she does indeed show him. Yaku's down 2 arms. Nagato's down 2 eyes. He demands to know, why'd you do it, or, where are the remnants? He doesn't actually hold her by the neck, and she just says, she knows at this point that Nagato's stronger than Obito. She can just feel it that he is. She just says, the Jinchuriki did it, not me. I was just trying to protect him, but I realized he'd kill you. He throws her to the ground, he's telling her, you're useless. And we just walk away. But then he does realize something. He has a few members of Akatsuki left, or at least he thinks the ones that aren't dead. It's him, Zetsu, and Kisame, but Kisame's missing. Doesn't know where he is. He begins searching for Konoha, looking for him, but as soon as he begins searching the graveyard where Itachi is, well, he's met by Sasuke. He sees 2 Rinnegan, and he thinks they're, Nagato's, but he realizes these ones have much more chakra. These can't be Nagato's. He tries to manifest a talk, only punched inside the face by Kisame. Now, the punches go through him, but when he try to counterattack, Kisame just grab his fist and break it. Which he does surprise. Obito only realized, it healed immediately because Hush from a cell arm, it's Zetsu arm. But Sasuke would just tell Obito that there's no way to escape him. And Obito actually, are those Nagato's eyes? And he simply just says, no, these are my own. I awakened them. Obito asks how, kind of curious, and he just says, because I'm a sage. Why else? Before Obito can even react, same for Zetsu, they're both brought into a whole other realm. That realm is full of ice, but also in that realm is Naruto, who's just sitting on an iceberg, saying, alright, so they did come. She was right. He's flashed back to Konan leaving with Nagato, and she would tell Naruto about Zetsu and Obito, and who they really are. Or at least not Zetsu, but Obito. He calls him Madara and all that, but, yeah. But when we do see Obito looking around, he does try to use Kamui, but immediately Naruto would just tell him, no matter if you escape, Kakashi-sensei can find you himself. He's stronger from you than you now. And he said that Kamui ability is troublesome, but it's useless. So Obito has to stay behind, knowing Kakashi's in the Kamui realm now. And Zetsu has, try to fight using wood release, but that does not matter anymore. Zetsu tried to get ready to fight. Naruto literally just appeared in front of Zetsu, put a seal on them, and that basically banished their ability to, phase through things. Let him running on a regular shinobi, only for Naruto to literally just use one hand sign, and that basically created dozens of tags that covered Zetsu's body and blew them to pieces, killing them right then and there. Now, this is the fight between Sasuke and Obito, but when they clashed, Obito tried to phase through Sasuke, only to feel a sharp pain in his back. He realized he was being stabbed. No, he discovered that his back is bleeding pretty badly. Only as soon as he landed, he's grabbed from below by two hands from the ice. Haku would manifest, impaling Obito on the side with a few senbon. Then, when he tried to move once more, Kubikiri Bosho would appear, slashing off one of his arms, the Zetsu arm. But when he tries, to regrow another one, and he's put in the White Prison Jutsu by Kisame. In the White Prison Jutsu, sharks appear that are usually just from Kisame, but then ink ones appear. Then bug-filled sharks appear. Before he knows it, his shark is being eaten, and his body's being torn to shreds. All that's left is a fraction of his mask. When Kakashi briefly manifests in this dimension, he pulls out the mask shard, and would just walk away, not even saying a word. He just walks away, taking the shard of Obito's mask. Kakashi and Obito never really had a conversation after this. He kind of just alright, I guess Obito's dead now. Never had closure or anything. He just knows Obito was a villain, and Obito died. But with this basically ends Shippuden. For the marriage, Naruto probably wouldn't settle on anyone, but he does indulge Hinata. He dates her a little bit, they have kids, but eventually Naruto would kind of decide, Konoha isn't really for him, he doesn't want to stay here. So he thought he would leave. On the road, he does bring Haku and Tenten, and one of which does bear his children, that one of which being Tenten, who does give him another son, that other son being Kawaki. But in Konoha, he does introduce Kawaki to Himawari and Boruto, and Kawaki is actually older than them. As he had gone on the road a few dozen times, Tenten was, the first one, Hinata was the second one, so, yeah. Eventually, when it comes to being Hokage, Naruto does not become Hokage, he refuses to become Hokage. It's not in his line of work, basically. But to place him as Hokage, well, who could, other than Sakura? She is the seventh Hokage. As Naruto wanted power and respect, not Hokage. And he got power and respect. Sasuke wants to travel outside the village, and him and Naruto meet up from that time just for sake, and Sakura would occasionally join them, even though they don't know how she found them. But Sasuke is also married to her, and Naruto was his best man. And Kisame was the one who appeared as his father figure. Kakashi kind of declined that role. I think he failed. But, yeah. Now in Boruto. Naruto and Sasuke are both the vacant fathers in, his children's lives, but Kawaki is the only one who actually likes their father, aside from Himawari. Sakura is curious, Boruto's bored of the children don't have without fathers. This one, actually would see that, Sakura is curious, Boruto is spiteful, Himawari is curious as well, and Kawaki actually admires Naruto. He's read books on him, realizes that Naruto's the strongest man in the world. He knows that. He's very curious about it. Now this one, Code is the perfect vessel for Ishiki, just to make it easy, so, yeah. But, I'm just going to skip forward to, the chunin exams, and Naruto is actually here for once. And while he's here, he does, meet up with all of his kids. Sasuke would also meet up with Sarada. When it comes down to the chunin exams, at this point, Kabuki's already a chunin, almost a jonin. He's a proctor. Pause real quick. So, for the final exam, he's the proctor, and then eventually when it does come down to, Boruto trying to cheat, they just Naruto appearing in the arena, and no one is surprised, honestly. He has a kind of a thing of him or people related to him interrupting the chunin exams since he was a kid, which does shock Himawari and Kabuki. When Naruto had appeared, they didn't even see him move, but Boruto would fall from the sky with his arm not bleeding, but his sleeve destroyed, and they ended up seeing a ninja tool fall into Naruto's hands. When Naruto's lectured Boruto said, you weren't even there for me, why do you care about how I perform as a shinobi? Naruto just slapped Boruto across the face, telling him that, Shinki did me his all. You should too, but not with tools. As he just crushed the ninja tool in his bare hand, which has surprised everyone there. Instantly goes, Boruto, if you truly have my genes, you can fight with this. And he would hand Boruto a really big kunai. Boruto's a bit confused, but, he doesn't want to argue. He would, but that's reserved for Hinata, not the man who slapped him in front of 100 people or more. So, when shooting exams resume once more, we actually see Boruto get in the groove of using this large kunai, actually landing a few good blows on, Shinki. He had to land a few dozen strikes, but eventually Shinki does beat him. Soon, Momoshiki would still arrive and tries to use the Master Rasengan. Sakura would arrive, she's the Hokage and all, she's the one who has to deal with this. Not just because, he cut it to pieces, but he doesn't want to destroy Konoha. Sakura actually smirks as Sasuke doesn't want to have a solution, but she simply just says she can have her own solution. It does confuse them all, so she feels her put on gloves, and then from above, or from below, she jumps up, putting her hands on the massive tail beast bomb. And they're shocked, she just throws it right in the sky, making it vanish. Momoshiki and Kinshiki are surprised, and Kinshiki would try to slap Sasuke using, the axe that's made of, red chakra. Sasuke would grab it with 2 fingers for just crushing it to pieces, and then would just summon, a black rod, hitting Kinshiki in the side of the neck, killing him right then and there. Momoshiki would try to charge Naruto, that he went towards Naruto. All everyone sees is just a lot of red mist. Red mist gets on Naruto's glasses, which he pretty easily just cleans off. And he would just walk out of the arena, looking at Hinata and Tenten, saying whoever gets to the house first can give me a bath. And immediately they both just vanish. Now, everyone's been surprised that Naruto pretty easily killed someone like that. Kabuki's I knew he was strong, but just a lot of red mist is surprising. And Zabuza from the stand would just say, he learned that from me. Kakashi simply says, no shot. Zabuza would just scoff, saying, let you know. They both just argue for a bit as Guy would join in on the side of Kakashi. And then we see Haku joining on the side of Zabuza, all that. Now, more time would pass until we end up seeing Delta arrive versus, Naruto. As he's in the village once more, playing with Himawari, Kabuki, and Boruto. While Sasuke's there with Sarada, all that. No kind of out-bonding. But they'll still try to kidnap Himawari, or just, to get Naruto to attack her. But the moment that we actually see Delta grab, Himawari, Kabuki would appear, and with one quick punch, Delta is sent flying back. Seeing Kabuki show off his capability, as we see that, he resembles Asuma. And this one, Kabuki's teacher, it was actually Asuma and Kurenai. Doesn't make me think, oh, what? He's probably weaker than canon. Doesn't have as many techniques, but in terms of skill and AP, much higher. Probably not AP, but skill probably. This is AP is what's lacking right now. Everything else about him is excelling. And when it comes to fighting Delta, he's actually able to fight her kind of on par. But then when you see Sakura arrive, they're saying she did all her paperwork early, and she's like, oh, who's this chick? She sees Kabuki with a bit of bruises, and for Delta, she's like, all right, I kind of get it. This is a fight between Delta and Sakura, which Sakura's actually pretty easily manhandling Delta. It's not really a hard fight for her. But at least with the tag team between between Sakura and Sasuke, and it leads to Delta being, kind of turned into a moon, and then turns to a whole other dimension. They could have individually killed her on their own, but they kind of wanted to have fun. But they're wondering where Naruto went. Boruto thinks this is Naruto being a deadbeat, until Naruto reappeared with Kashinkoji on the ground and a blade in his shoulder. And for the first time in the world, they should see Naruto filled with genuine fury. And that's where they realize how much Naruto's actually mad about Jiraiya's death. And he simply just demands to know who made this abomination to human life. And Kashinkoji reveals Amado. He reveals his entire plan about Amado, and when he reveals the reason he was made, Naruto's a bit less mad, but he's still mad nonetheless. He's moved at Sasuke saying, how many dimensions can you go through in a day? And Sasuke just says, I can go till we find the right dimension. Most just vanish, and they've been looking for the Kara hideout. They do teleport over Earth as well until they eventually do find the Kara hideout after about a few weeks. By the time they arrive, though, it's still just Jigen. Like, every member of Kara's the same aside from Delta, who's dead. Or not dead, but sealed. And then, well, yeah, kind of just Delta. Kashinkoji's kind of on the side of the Hidden Leaf now. Then when Naruto and Sasuke arrive, they do kind of begin massacring all of Kara, which mercilessly. And with Jigen, we actually see Naruto's full power displayed now in his base state. He's fighting Jigen, not on par, but actually overwhelming him. His skill is now higher than anyone in the universe. I'm talking about anyone, including Shibai, Hagoromo, Ashura, Indra. This skill alone surpassed every living creature. Point where we actually take a quote from, probably not a direct quote, but a quote from my favorite One Piece edits. It was one-on-one, all these bets on Kaido. Whether it's on land, air, or at sea, he is believed to be the strongest creature. Naruto holds that title in the universe. Whether it's across a different dimension, in this land, on land, air, sea, whatever you want, he is the strongest living creature. That is not to include his tailed beast. This leads to Naruto killing, Jigen, which does only reveal Ishiki. Which does lead to Naruto trying to use at least a bit of Chronos Chakra, and it does lead to him using, Six-Pass Chakra, or Six-Pass Sage Mode, or Six-Pass KCM Sage Mode. But the moment that Naruto has entered this mode, all he does is just cover Ishiki with the Truth-Seeking Orb, and then he would just raise one hand, and immediately the Truth-Seeking Orb would just compress into the point where it kind of just crushes Ishiki, compressed faster than he could, which does crush him, so he's dead. He opens the Truth-Seeking Orb having blood pull out, but much blood is like killing a spider. So he would just make the Truth-Seeking Orb vanish along with his KCM mode, and he'd find Amado, demanding him to, release, or not release, but destroy any bit that he had of cloning Jiraiya. In that room, he would see Ada and, Daemon. Now, Ada tries to, infatuate Naruto and Sasuke, but Sasuke having six from, two Rinnegan kind of had him bypass that, because they're very much stronger Rinnegan, and Naruto is just not focused on women, he's kind of focused on being him. As in, he's being that guy. When Ada tries to do that, she's only chopped in the face by Naruto, and he tells her, quit looking at him, it's annoying. Daemon tries to, do his whole thing, and Naruto would punch at him. The punch is reflected on Naruto, then Daemon realizes that Naruto didn't take any damage. And Naruto simply just said, I was faking you out to see your abilities. But I can tell what this is. It's pretty easy, honestly. Before Daemon knew it, he grabbed by the face, and Naruto simply said, he's not aiming to hurt Daemon, he's aiming to get him out of the way. Before anyone knew it, Daemon's head had crushed Naruto's hand, and instead of getting him out of the way, is death. Naruto kind of held his hands up, and simply said, leave Ada alive, at least she's kind of his best work. So, this leads to Amado joining the side of the Hidden Leaf, and, So, with this, it kind of ends all of Boruto. Naruto kind of ended it in the span of, learning, know what he learned about, Kashinkoji, he ended Kara. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this random what if. Adios.